are your voice. But we can only be effective if you use your voice. Your voice. This is the voice of freedom. We will not hide from the truth. We will ask the hard questions until we are sure we have the truth. Welcome to the Voice of Freedom, where your voice will never be silenced.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. We're going to try something here tonight. I don't know whether it's going to work or not. Let's see what's going to happen. Welcome to the show, Dave Guru. Hello. Are we hooked up, buddy? Can you hear me?
I think we are, Carl. We're going to have to talk to the viewers about what they can hear and what's going on. So I'll go to my comments. But Carl's intro is rolling. I think we have the timing out there a little bit, Carl. Folks, what we're trying to do here is stream through a couple of channels. Or through a couple of streams out to our respective channels. Okay, so Carl, if we went to my studio and we put stuff out, it's going to my viewers without Carl's, viewers. So what we've tried to do is integrate both here. We don't know how we're going to go, okay, but we're giving a little bit. There's talk over each other now. Okay, we're going to give it a go. So I'm in. You've got to bring Kazza in, I think, Carl, on your end.
I just bring her in as she gets up and walks away. Welcome to Kaz's living room.
Okay. That's it. That's all right.
Right. So we've got great feedback off her speakers, but no microphone.
Yeah. I just did a test back on Facebook, and there's no repeat.
Oh, great.
Okay, so we're dealing with the repeat. Okay, there's part success, folks. Well done, guys. Well done.
How's it going on my channel? Are you guys getting bad audio? Is it repeating on you? Because that's what we've been dealing with, this endless audio loop. River Table, how you going, brother? Good to see you on, mate. I'm hoping things go well with you. Everything's here. Here is all. Jackie's cool. She can hear us. Melissa's there. She can hear us. Yay, great. We seem to be working in all planes. Well, I don't know if this is the first or not. Dave, tell people the name of your channel.
So my channel that we're on at the moment, folks, is Guru, the Aussie Insider, Mel, or Kangaguru. Sorry, Kangaguru. Right. So I'm on Kangaguru on Facebook, and my YouTube channel is Bob Dan. We got people on there, and I'm on another Facebook channel, a back channel here that we're going out to as well. A new one we had to make.
Another new one you had to make, you mean?
Yeah, because I just keep getting hammered with them, mate. So that's, but the idea here, is to see, and it's not too bad. Kaz is a little bit echoey I've got here.
But you can hear me at least.
Yeah, we can hear you. No, things are cool. Okay, so let's see how we can hold this. It seems okay. We might be able to bring clips in at the moment, but we've got plenty in our heads and plenty to talk about, people. So let's. No,
I've already figured that.
Okay.
So all right. So guys, let's bring this one in.
The one in my studio? Okay. Bear with us, people.
We've got to get to the headphones, guys.
It's only us putting up with the feedback, Carl.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. All right. Someone's saying it's high pitched, guys.
Okay. All right. Won't do that then.
Any way you can turn those speakers that you're listening to down anyhow? Because I've got this repeating sort of low. There you go. That's gone. That's got it lost. And there's still a high one now.
Yeah, Kaz is terrible. Yeah, they're getting Kaz. It's Kaz's feedback. Everyone's saying on here.
Oh, she's found her headphones. We'll get there.
Yeah, they've seen better production quality in episodes of Mr. Squiggle. Yeah, but Mr. Squiggle couldn't fucking actually transmit from his rocket and the moon at the same time. And me and Carl are fucking succeeding in doing that at the moment.
And this is exactly the kind of thing we're trying to get some equipment together for, folks, because we're trying to do television things using software that isn't designed to do television things. Like to be able to bring in, it's all well and good to say, you've got a Zoom conversation and all that kind of thing happening, but we're doing things sort of on a different level using a different kind of software, and we're pushing it to its limits at times. So I'm not sure if this is actually the first, linking of two channels in a simulcast, if you like, because we're currently on one of my Facebook channels, two of my YouTube channels. Oh, beg your pardon. We're going out on all three YouTube channels tonight, and Twitter. So no excuse if you're not seeing it, I guess. We're not going out on my personal Facebook page. We're going out on the Wake Up Facebook page if you're interested in finding that. Dave, for your listeners, Kaz, can I just tell you what a spectacular job you've done finding those headphones? Not only do they make you look more beautiful, and can I say that now you look like the secret behind the scenes controller that we all know you to be. The woman that whispered in the ear of the operative,
What about when I talk? Can you actually hear me?
Yes, beautifully.
Yeah, we got a bit of echo, but we just got to work on this, guys. Just bear with us if you can, because thanks for all the feedback. That's what we need. Okay, but we're just going to try and see if we can we want to expand this thing, guys, and this is what me and Carl we've got some stuff coming up, and we're going to be trying to work together in different locations and get feeds out. And now probably early next week we can let you know that Carl's going to be down here, and we're hopefully going to do a live stream from down in the basin down here, and we're going to do one from Carl will be doing one from Sydney and a few other places. So we're starting to get this thing on the road, guys, and what we're trying to do here is work out how we're going to do this, okay, with limited gear but some knowledge.
And
limited finances, limited everything, except we've got Kazza. So if we've got any other tech gurus out there that can help us do what we're doing, Carl's a bit echoey, but the sound's pretty good now. So listen, guys, big experiment. We're streaming 2 studios out here to numerous different links, okay, at one time. So I reckon, we've done all right just to get here, Carl, actually.
You're right there. Absolutely right there. So I've got a little ticker running at the moment. It's going to a new, I don't know that I told you guys, but there's a new there's a new webpage being built for Voice of Freedom. And Dave, I suppose we can let a bit of the secret out of the bag that in the future, you and I plan to be doing a lot more together. And Voice of Freedom will play a role in that, because it's not just me, it's everyone. So there is a donate button currently on that landing page while the rest of the thing is being built. But this will eventually become a home for many of the freedom voices. I'm not going to say fighters, I'm going to say voices. For Dave, for Kaz, for myself, for others, should they choose to join us. And we want to be on the road telling your stories, folks. So the only way that we can do that is be on the road with you. So it's hard to get you to come to us. So we're going to come to you. And we want to make a difference. And we can only do that by coming and finding you guys and encouraging you where needed. You can educate us. Maybe we can educate you. We can get something together. So along my side at the moment anyway, there's a ticker. But if you go to vofhq.com, you'll find that landing page. And if you've got a few spare bucks and you can care to donate, it's going to all of us. So it'll help us all get where we need to be to try and get this message out. I don't know who turned their speakers up, but something's now starting to feedback really badly.
Yeah, have you got earphones? Someone just said, have you got any earphones? Sophie lives with g'day, Sophie. How are you? G'day, everybody out there. Sorry, but g'day, Sophie. Sophie's saying no echo here, but then we had Carl. Yeah, that's better, Carl.
Yep, cool. I've got mine on. That's no worries.
Guru's the only virgin here, mate. No headphones, eh? He's all trying to look like Hook. Is You're all trying to look like Hoodie, are you?
Anyway, geez, there's a man. There's a name for a man like you. Pardon me, I won't cough in your ear. All right.
Okay.
All right, kick us off. What's going on tonight?
All right.
Okay,
This is really good.
Kaz.
Just pull that screen in there, Carl, and let me know when you've got it up.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Okay, folks, going to share a screen. Yep, it's all up, Kaz.
All right, so this is compliments of one of the Anons. They've done a handle is Bad Kitty. Anyway, so Bad Kitty has actually done a thread on all of the resignations. So we have Kaya Kallas, who was the MP or the PM of Estonia. She's resigned. Okay. This is just in the last couple of days. Now, the Italian PM, Mario Draghi, he has resigned. And he used to be the previous president of the European Central Bank. Sri Lankan president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, he has fled and he's in exile.
And hasn't that's the president, hasn't the prime minister also resigned now, and the cabinet?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've had Boris Johnson, of course.
And the cabinet gone.
Mm-hmm. Now we've got Belgian foreign minister and deputy PM Sophie Williams. She's resigned. Argentinian economy minister Martin Guzman, he's resigned. And of course, this week we've also have Shinzo Abe. He has supposedly been shot and killed.
Permanently resigned. Retired.
Yeah, retired at the moment.
So that is just what's happened this week.
Okay, so we pull that out. I think we've done good there. I think I've got mine out and Carl's maybe got his out of the studio and we should be back to where we were, folks. So I think we're going all right here. I shared that in through my studio as well as yours there, Carl. So both viewers were seeing the same thing there. So, okay, folks, listen, we're in a really good spot. Okay, what we got to do is somehow or other, all of us people out there, we got to start waking people up, okay, because the world's waking up, the world's pushing back, the world's making big changes, and sorry, but we're just we're still waiting for the wave to come. You know, we need to get this this momentum, and we need to start paddling into a big set, guys and girls, okay, and taking off with some momentum. Okay, so we've got to do that here in Australia because now is the time. All right, and you know, we look, everything that I'm seeing, and I'll go out and say this is my opinion only, but everything I'm seeing right from the mainstream news and that, when I have a little check-in and that, you see your clips on Instagram and Twitter and that, is saying that they are pushing. They're saying in 2 weeks we're going to have millions of cases in the country. Their August lockdown is looking really good, folks, okay? It's looking really good.
Yep.
Okay, now some of us are going to tell you that August lockdown is going to be a good thing. Okay, we think. Okay, and when we come out of that August lockdown, we might be just coming out to a little bit of chaos, but some organised chaos. Okay. Yeah. So, folks, things are happening around the world. So, Carl, what's your view on that? And what do you think's going down? And what do you think? Where are we? When are we going to friggin' wake up?
Well, I think there are new things being shown to us every day about waking up. You've just got to look to find them. In the mainstream media, you're being shown things every day. You were shown there were fires in Rome on the weekend. You weren't shown, or you were shown, but weren't really told they were in the Vatican and deep in the Vatican, in places that, you know, most of the people never get to go and see. There have been all these resignations around the place. There's been talk that Boris Johnson and his parliament resigning, essentially, or his cabinet resigning, essentially, is the beginning of London Bridge, because the parliament, if you like, is the foundation. The cabinet and the prime minister are the head of that foundation, or the top of that foundation. It has crumbled. The party doesn't seem to be doing a great job of finding a new leader. It seems to be crumbling as well. So London Bridge could be crumbling, at least in a foundational sense at the moment, with the announcement of maybe the Queen's death in the not too distant future. I think that's half on the cards. One of my of viewers has asked a question here. She wondered who takes their place. Miss Piggy wants to know who takes the place of all these people who've been resigned, if you like, or are resigning. All right. So, Dave, Kaz, what do you guys reckon?
Kaz, come in first there, Kaz, and I'll go after you.
Just you go first because I'm just adjusting my speakers.
All right, what's going to happen? Okay, I can't tell you what's going to happen. Okay, over in England or Belgium or anywhere else. Okay, we know that I think Romania has a shadow government organised in the back scenes. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers. Okay, but this is what I've been told. Okay, that Romania is actually organised. There will be no vacuum in that country. Other countries are going to be looking at huge vacuums of power where corrupt, these guys are so dirty, mate, they'll slip somebody else in. We'll have another Zelensky. You know what I mean? And the friggin', Hollywood superstars will be flying over to meet someone else now soon. But anyway, I can talk to you about Australia, folks, okay, and my opinion and my view on Australia. When we get to the point, when we all wake up out there and we get to the point that we get enough pushback to take this thing over, all right, and get our country into a state where we can run it, you will see a man called Ricardo Bosi as the president of Australia, or whatever we call this friggin' place. I don't give two shits what we call it, okay, and I don't care two shits about too much, except for the fact that I believe A1 has a corporate structure, not a corporate, that's a fucking bad word, excuse my French. Okay, has a top tier structure, okay, ready to pull this country back into a place that it can be. A 2% expenditure tax. Think about it, people. Okay, every cent that goes into your pocket in dollars is yours. $1,000 a week is yours. $2,000 a week is yours. If you don't spend any money for 2 weeks, you don't pay any tax. You go down the garage and buy $200 worth of fuel, it's going to cost you $4. Okay? That's the way it is, a 2% expenditure tax, because you got to realize that we have been paying the fucking cabal for hundreds of years, hundreds and hundreds of years since they first turned up here. Right? America's been in chaos since 1776. Okay, come on. We don't have to we don't have to explain this, folks. Where we are, we need to wake up, and we have what we need in Australia to put this country back into a place where we can run it. Okay, but I'm telling you, Rick Bossy's the man to do it. And there are other things we're looking into now, as in community structures, that hopefully we will be able to help implement them as well. But the whole idea here is for us to grab this country back as people, have someone like Rick run this country, and we get the people in that we need. You can't tell me in 27 million people we can't replace 130 knuckleheads that fucking up in that satanic place up there on the hill. You're kidding me. I know Kazza could do the job of one of them, probably three of them. Okay, for a start. Okay, I'm no guru. I just happen to get tagged with something, you know what I mean? And I'm a good speaker. That's about it. But I might be Speaker of the House. Who knows? I'm a good speaker. Well, okay, use my talents, but I don't care if I'm nowhere. I don't care if I'm sailing on my boat. What we need is a country taken back by its own people, and Ricardo and that A1 put into place so we can get this place back to somewhere we can live and have a decent life. That's it. Simple as that, folks. That's my bottom line opinion on Australia.
A lot of people want to know when. Well, things are happening so quickly at the moment. There is a lot of interesting stuff that's going on in the background that looks like nothing to anybody else. But when you view them holistically, think of us all like little bits of a jigsaw puzzle. Each of us are a little piece in the puzzle. And Dave's piece and my piece and Kaz's piece has been found. I don't know, Dave, it's got to be your speakers feeding back now, mate, because I'm just going mad with what you're saying. So we're all these little pieces. And then when I go out and do these Bosie interviews on a Tuesday night, all the people that turn up to those and all the people that are watching are other little pieces. And together we're finding each other. So the 100-odd people, thanks, Dave, the 100-odd people the other night in Bundaberg now know that when they see each other in the street, they've got something in common. And I've got to say, very impressed with the strength of the movement in Bundaberg. There is sign writing on people's houses, out the front of on their fences, particularly on the properties leading into and out of town. Was really pleased to see so many people standing up for the jab or against the jab, and speaking truth about the pandemic was great. And I was very encouraged to meet quite a lot of them the other night too. So thank you, Bundaberg. It was a wonderful evening. And we're going to Ipswich next Tuesday night. So look forward to meeting the people from out west of Brisbane. It'll be very cool.
So
Very cool.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Kaz, beautifully.
Oh,
Yep.
I fixed it. Oh, gosh, I'm smart. I'll tell you what I did in a minute when I get off, and you guys can do the same. Look, that's the whole thing. Is what we're looking at is we're looking at the rebirth of the nation. So the extent of the fraud is such that what they've done is Queen Victoria gave us 1% partnership. We're at nearly $2 trillion economy. So 27 million divided into that. Well, that makes it our net value worth. Okay, our worth huge. Okay, our individual personal wealth huge. That's why they had to steal it from us. So then we've got the case of so not only did they steal the country, okay, and our right as sovereign beings to actually be financially to have a financial interest in this country. Okay, then on top of that, what they've done is they've perpetrated the birth certificate fraud upon us, whereby they've made us into slaves. Then they've invested on the stock exchange, and some of us are worth billions of dollars, and you didn't even know it.
Up to $6 billion.
Then they've stolen that.
How many people? I'd love to know in the chat. How many people are aware of hypothecation? Do you know what hypothecation is? Dave, you do. Kaz, you know what hypothecation is?
No.
All right, let me just scroll down to my Dave. You're feeding back again to buggery. Can't see too many in my chat saying they know what hypothecation is. Hypothecation is how the elite make their money. So you're talking about the short-term and long-term money markets there, Kaz, and how they roll. You know how somebody writes you a check and the bank used to say, "Oh, you can't cash that for 7 days. We'll give you the piece of paper now. You can hand it over to us, but we're not going to actually put the money in your account for 7 days." And now it's 3 days, and they still do that electronically. What they do is they take all that money that's generated, and you're talking about putting it on the short-term money market. Well, the big banks and the big players, the elites in the central banking system, do more than that. They do it on a global scale, and it's called hypothecation. And they take that money that is all of ours, and they back it with their own bits and pieces, and they can turn $1 million into $100 million in 12 months or more, just depending on how hard they push it. And if there are certain institutions, certain people you have to know to be able to hypothecate money. And there are certain people within the freedom movements who know those people. And hypothecation is where this, in some of these arguments, is where this mass wealth is coming from. Because if you were able to say and we're all thinking gold wealth here. So gold wealth that's been kept in caves, found in tunnels, whatever, it's been dug up under the Vatican, that has been divvied up and is going to be hypothecated in certain ways, so that when and if Nasara Jassara comes through, as we all expect and hope, that's where all this cash is going to come from. It's where the elites have been that's the money they've been hypothecating. That's how they've been generating huge amounts of wealth and then storing it in tunnels, in gold, in platinum, in precious metals, and artworks, and God knows what else. So
the good thing is, Carl, we won't have elites hypothecating. We'll have a country hypothecating our minerals and that without even taking them out of the ground, because we have the base wealth there. So we can hypothecate, okay, and we can make money nationally as a country, but throughout the people, we will not need to have, these people ripping off this person to make this much money for that person, because what we've got is a 2% expenditure tax. You have money. You have money. The economy works that way, so as good as all that is, and I think it's all great, you know what I mean? But I don't think individually, if we can turn this thing around how we think, that people are going to be doing it tough. I think countries will be, definitely hypothecating, but all this banking bullshit about hypothecation and that, my personal opinion, it should go. You know what I mean? And we use that as a national way to actually create wealth and money. But that's just my opinion on it. Yeah, I agree with exactly what you're saying. I just think it should be used in different purposes.
It's the extent of the fraud. The fraud just goes on and on and on, though. So on top of the birth certificate fraud and the fact that they're making money off us, then on top of that, what they've got is that we pay tax 3 times on every dollar. So we pay 37% income tax. Then we pay tax on our savings. Then we pay tax on anything that we purchase. And then on top of that, we pay 125 different federal, state and local council taxes. Then if you want to take a drive down the road, you got to pay a private toll for a road that you built, paid to have built, that they gave to some sort of private company, or you get a speeding fine that some private company puts a car there, gets a photo of you, and the state enforces it. So the level of fraud is so outrageous, and thank God for COVID, because we're all finally doing something about it. And and we haven't seen what freedom is for such a long time, because what's happened is we have been domesticated and made dependent on the state. So we're very dependent. Most of us are dependent in some way, shape or form on the government. And then what happens is the government are trained, our politicians are trained when they are answering questions to do neuro-linguistic programming so that they're warm and treating you, speaking to you like a parent speaks to their children. And this is what's coming through the TV, and this is why we have been domesticated and basically we've been made dependent upon our government. What we have to do is we have to understand how badly people had to fight for freedom over the years and how rare it is. America's only a few hundred years old. Liberty doesn't last for long traditionally. So it's been a long, hard fight. And, you know, I was talking this morning about the fight of Thermopylae, and the bloody battle that the 300 put up to stop Xerxes from coming across. But all through history, at different times of history, people have had to stand up and try to fight. And it's been a long, hard battle. It's something that's very rare. But why people want it is because you are responsible. You are responsible. You decide, I'm not going to drive 60 Ks down the road here. I'm going to drive 40 because I can't handle the car at 60 Ks. This is how it works. It's you taking personal responsibility for things and making wise choices instead of being dumbed down, dependent upon your government.
Can I just use that driving example that you've placed there as a good example? So if you, let's use a major highway, like, I don't know Sydney, so I don't know, M5, that's a big road, M7, these are big roads, 3-4 lane highways, is that right? In Melbourne, the Southeastern Freeway, the Tullamarine Freeway.
They're all 4 to 6 lane,
Yeah, beautiful. So those sorts of things in Brisbane, the M1, the Bruce Highway, anything like that. So these in some areas are 110 kilometers an hour, in other areas they're 100. If you don't feel confident driving on a heavy trafficked freeway at 100 kilometers an hour, there is a left lane. And the safest you can safely travel in that left lane is 80 kilometers an hour. Now, that's the safest speed you can travel. Anything less, you are a speed hump and a danger. So if you are not capable of driving at 80 kilometers an hour or faster on a big main road like that, then you need to be figuring alternate routes to get to your destination on roads that you're more comfortable driving at speeds you're more comfortable at driving. And that becomes personal responsibility, because at 110 kilometers an hour, coming across a person who may not have working tail lights, who might have one tail light working at night, it might be wet, it might be whatever. One person who feels much more confident traveling at 110 kilometers an hour in the left lane because they're getting off at the next exit comes up on a car doing 60 in that same lane. The decision time on what's going to happen decreases rapidly, and the chance of an accident increases rapidly. And that's why we have so many accidents on the road. We have a lot of unconfident drivers driving at speeds they're not confident at driving, and then they pull over and become speed humps in certain areas. So this is personal responsibility. And so in our future, I expect that just because you're allowed to drive at 80 kilometers an hour and you were doing 78 when you got rammed up the arse by a truck doing 100, then the personal responsibility pledge is going to come to you, or that argument is going to come on you to say, well, really, the road is 110 kilometers an hour limited, and you're not capable of doing 80 comfortably. Should you really have been on it? You should have made that decision. You are really liable for the accident. So, it's personal responsibility is a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a change of mindset that we have to go through the educated process, but it's far better than being a slave, and that's what we've been. But the problem, how we got into this position, is because everybody didn't want to die. If somebody dies, oh no, we have to bring in this law to stop this. Oh no, and like a lot of the laws that we've got, I can see they're totally justified. But here's the situation: is that we have to go back and really have a look at them and go, is this pro-liberty or is this not pro-liberty? Because you have to have legislation, because otherwise you're just saying that, oh, well, bad's never going to happen. Bad is going to happen,
Yeah.
Like, people are going to be murderers. It's just the way of the world. We have to have laws. People are going to die, but it's this cringe factor for death, and we have to push past it and go, well, all right, some people are going to die. They're going to make bad choices, but, that's their freedom of choice to be able to do that. You need to be able to respect that.
I'm just getting a few. I'm just getting a few questions through here. They're quite good ones, and then there's Ken Loy, but that's a whole other story. Ken
Loy brought to you by the government.
Yeah.
No. Ken's got an idea. Ken's got an idea, and I've looked at part of his idea. I don't have to look too far. It's not an idea. Point 2 in his list of the idea is lawful rebellion under Magna Carta. So he has no understanding of Magna Carta at all, because if you use the word rebellion and Magna Carta in the same sentence, you're well up the wrong path, because neither Magna Carta uses the word rebellion or revolution, and therein lies a secret. So Ken, instead of, I suggested you go back and watch lesson 9 of Magna Carta, our lesson series on my channel None2K. I'd go back and start at lesson number 1, mate, and work your way through from there.
There you go.
Not even going to bother entertaining, but there are some really good questions.
Yeah, it's a difficult concept for people to understand, because for so long we've been trained that we're dependent upon the government and we're their children. But actually, no, we're the boss. They do what we tell them to do.
Yes, they're resisting, of course, like petulant, bloody children, when a parent comes along and says, you can't do that. And they're saying, no, we can. And they're kicking and screaming and having a fucking tantrum in their bedroom at the moment, trashing the place. They're not trashing their bedroom, I beg your pardon. They're trashing the house.
They're looting the house. They're looting it.
Yeah. And that's just sending them well off their cookie cutter. At any rate, Aaron Johnson on my channel sent up a question that is pretty good. He asked me if I'd seen any heavy tanks and strikers, which are the 6x6 troop carrier light tank things that we have headed north up the Bruce, past the sunny coast. I haven't been on the road. Well, I didn't see any on Tuesday or Wednesday. I didn't see one military truck between the Gold Coast and Bundaberg Tuesday or Wednesday. And I haven't been out yesterday or today. It's quite possible. And look, not unheard of. They'll be coming from Enoggera, and they'll be heading up to Shoalwater Bay for exercises. But we've obviously heard that there are quite a number of troops up at Shoalwater Bay camped out there. So who, what, where, and why for, who knows? But if they are heading up there, not at all surprised to hear that news, Aaron. Thanks for the tip, though. And if there are other people on the highway and you are seeing a lot of military movement, please let us know, whether it's on Dave's channel. So folks over there, that side, I'm pointing at different cameras. At that side, you look after Davo, and you can let me know, and we'll go from there.
And if anyone's got brothers or sisters, if anyone's got brothers or sisters that are in the forces,
be careful
quietly, on the quiet. Yeah, they are.
It's not real quiet.
But on the quiet, it'd be good to know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, I've
All right.
got
It would be
contacts
really good
at
to
a
know.
family level and yeah, I wouldn't put him in that position. It's just different. Jinder Lee put something else up on my
Yeah.
chat, which I had not really recognised until I saw it. Bruce Spence was Gus the Snail on Mr. Squiggle. So, do you remember Gus the Snail?
Yeah.
Because I'm going.
Okay.
I have a vague memory of Gus the Snail. I was much more a steam shovel kind of guy. Hurry up! But Gus the Snail. Anyway, I was interested in Bruce Spence because there is some very interesting tales about Bruce Spence that we won't go into on my YouTube channels at the moment, but we will go into it on Project Matilda one night.
We
there is a
will.
lot of interesting evidence about Bruce Spence,
And another
which
thing,
really
hey,
disappoints
let's just
me.
give that a blast. Let's give that a blast for a minute, Carl. Right, everybody, Project Matilda. All right. Now, I've also got another guy, a freedom fighter, who has got some really hot information, all right, on certain people, and he wants to start disclosing it. And I'm going to talk to Carl about it because he's going to need to pick a night a week, you know what I mean? Where, yeah, so he's looking at getting this information out, but he can't do it on these normal channels, all right? It's just going to get banged for it. So, you know, there is someone else I've been talking to that wants to get up and just run it on Project Matilda. So, again, we're asking you all to go out there, get registered so that we have this platform where as we get nailed, folks, we got somewhere in the back, you know what I mean? And we all go and meet over there and we do our shows there. Eventually, we're going to turn over there, okay, because it's an Australian server. It's a private server. We're uncensored. And that's what we want to do is back up the Australian people, you know what I mean, and the Australian business. So that's where me and Carl are heading to. And that's where, you know, we need to get you over to. Get over there, get registered, friend us all, friend everybody in there, okay, and start it going. So we've got this platform where we can tell you what we can't tell you on here. Because, folks, you know, we can tell you heaps more, but if we mention it on here, I'm telling you, man, we're gone. You know, we haven't got a channel to talk to you on. But I'd love to give you a bit more intel on what's going on and what we think is happening. You know what I mean? As much as we can say. But, yeah, you can't do it here.
And that's why, you know, I get a lot of people hanging around after the live show that I'm doing because I throw a few things up on the screen that I can't throw up during the show, and it gives them something to go, oh, wow, because one of the things that I throw up is the list now that's a couple of, 18 months old, I'd reckon, of those that have been arrested and executed. And it's only the first 4 pages, which gets us like down to about D in the alphabet, I think, D or maybe E. Oh no, I beg your pardon. No, Tom Hanks is on it, so it must get further down than that. So they're amazed. I get people lining up wanting to take photos of the thing off the screens and everything. So
and I've seen photos of prison barges in LA port. Okay, so yeah, you know, so there is a bit of stuff going. You know, look, we know there's stuff going on, folks. It's just. Yeah, everyone wants it to be over.
I've seen video of prison barges in the Hudson River, video of prison barges in the Hudson River, and video of prison barges off Florida. So I don't know Florida, but there is obviously a large cruise industry out of there. There's got to be a lot of deep water portage around there somewhere, or anchorages. So they
not far from Cuba.
Yeah, so they'll be anchored off the coast, but they won't be tied up alongside. In Florida, they'll be anchored off the coast, and easy to transport people to Cuba from by helicopter, I guess, if they really had to.
So there's one, folks. Get on the Marine app and see if you can find any boats out there that are actually police barges. Okay, because they're out there. I've seen the photos. I've seen the videos of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Brett Leonard. Thanks for your sticker, mate. Really appreciate that. It'll go to helping us buy a bit of equipment and hopefully getting us on the road, because if we could tell more people, you know, some of the things that we know. And I mean, I had a lady come up to me at the Gold Coast and sort of had me direct her to the Frazzle Drip video.
Wow.
I counseled her strongly. Jesus, Dave, I don't know. You live beside a racetrack and you're on a boat. I mean,
it's unreal, mate. Yeah, and doing this, I'm just wondering which one do I mute. You know, I've got more friggin' channels. Like, we've worked it out, guys. We've got it pretty good now. Okay, we've all played with our end of the controls, and I think we've got a pretty good stream going out. Actually, this is not bad. We've killed all the bugs. took us a little while, but we've killed them all. But yeah, Carl. Okay, so look, here's one from my side, Carl. Guru and Carlos Kaz. What's your take on foot and mouth? Do you think Victoria may tie this with the amended legislation they put through? Look, folks, it's all scaremongering. Okay, will they bring in foot and mouth? Of course they will, whether we've got it or not. They're going to tell you we've got it. They're going to foam up the mouths of a couple of fucking cows, excuse me, and they're going to put it out on the fucking news, all right? And they're going to tell you we got foot and mouth. It's how they play the game. Whether we got foot and mouth doesn't matter. It's the fear factor of that we're gonna have foot and mouth, and it's another, as they slowly cut down this food chain, it's another thing to blame. Oh, well, the foot and mouth, took the cows out, we're lucky, very lucky we're spraying chicken pox. We saved the chickens. Oh, mate, it's just unreal. It's unreal. So look, we just keep pressing forward, folks. We're there. Okay, I'd love to put a time on it, but you can't. Okay, but I really feel that we're going to see an August lockdown, and they're gearing it up on their side, and I think the white hats or whatever you want to call them, us people, we're gearing it up on our side, and we're getting ready for the big showdown. And the world's lit the fuse. Europe's lit the fuse with a few other people, India, Sri Lanka. Okay, and the bomb's got to go off over here, folks. Okay, we got to get a touch on that fuse and get going.
Yep, couldn't agree more, Dave. Just want to say, one of my guys, freely speaking, says, Dave, you look like you ought to be holding a beer, mate. We don't mind you sipping a cold one. So
I'm the only non-drinking. Tell you the truth, Blake, the only non-drinking concreter in the Illawarra. Okay, and that's just for the simple fact I got my son on my own, right, before I met Mel and that. My son's 23 now, but I got him on my own, and I realised that I couldn't continue to party, Carl, while I had this 2.5-year-old boy, and my mum was helping me look after him, get him to school while I worked, and then I tried to party on the weekends, and it just didn't feel right to me. So I gave up drinking 23 years ago to look after him and never went back. So, that's just my personal, I got no problem with alcohol. I've drunk it a few times since, but it just doesn't interest me. Yeah.
No, I'm the same way.
But I'm pretty relaxed. Sorry. We got the stream going. So, I'm pretty relaxed, buddy. Thank you. You have the beer for me. Have a Jack Daniels. Have whatever you want, okay? But, I reckon celebrate that we've knocked the stream together here, folks, and we've done pretty well.
Absolutely.
Carl, do you want to bring the screen in? Because this is on they're also like another thing that they're doing here. I'll just play this and see how it goes.
It's definitely quiet. No, that's your microphone. No, some pretty pictures of a bee.
Yeah.
There's no, it's not playing, is it? There's no sound?
No, it's not playing sound, Kaz.
Okay. All right. Well, look, basically, this is a report. The Department of New South Wales Industry has declared a new eradication zone in New South Wales as a deadly Varroa virus wreaks havoc on the Australian bee population. So just more of it. If you have no bees, you don't have any fruits. That goes basically life. Bees. So this is just more of the same of what, they're up to. So suddenly we have now a Varroa virus that's just deadly, and it's more of the same. We know they're hitting the food chain. We know that they basically, that this is what they want. So this is just the stuff that we're dealing with and that we will be dealing with for the next few months.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. There's been a lot of consternation here in the last few days about being sprayed. People were concerned that it's not now going to be weather manipulation, that we're going to be sprayed with anything other than pesticides.
I've got someone looking into it.
Yeah. We broke it on the show the other night, Carl. So let Kazza explain what we've found out, and then we'll go from there, because we've got to vet it, mate.
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
I've got somebody looking into it, and at the moment it looks like it might be just a bit of a furphy. They are spraying stuff on us, but not the that thing that you put into your arm normally. Or she hasn't been able to find the documents as yet, and she's done a pretty thorough search. but she's going to circle around and approach it from the other side and see what they are putting out there, and then that way and see if it's actually been included subtly.
So there is supposedly, and I've seen the video, but the website that he goes to, you can't see, like the web address. There is a website where he goes through a list of DIR or directives that they are allowed to, or have been approved, or are awaiting approval for aerial activity. And DIR 184 directly relates to the spicy cough. So I can't find, because I haven't looked, and I suppose I could do that while I'm sitting here. I could type that in. Too hard. Australian Health Department it would be.
So are people not hearing me speak now?
No,
our feed is being messed with, Kaz. Our feed's getting messed with. That's all. They don't like us doing what we're doing here, mate.
All right.
So I am looking for DIR 184. Yeah, that'll be.
So yeah, everything seems cool. I'll when you talk again, Kaz, I'll just try. Hang on a minute. Just try. We'll just get a report off him, right? Just talk about something now, Kaz, for 2 secs. Just coming on.
All right. How am I coming through now, guys? Hearing me now? Thank you, Margaret.
Yeah, hearing you now, Kaz. Yeah, we got it.
I didn't do a thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna have to play around with it, folks, but we'll get it. We're breaking technology here. This is breaking boundaries. Good stuff. Perfect. Lisa Jones says, hearing you now, Kaz. Cool. Because I'm playing with stuff in my stream, folks. We got Carl playing with stuff in his stream. Kaz are playing with stuff in her stream. So we don't know what we're muting and what we're turning. We're just playing. So we need your feedback. Okay. So, yeah, this is where we are, people. Okay, we're at a critical time in Australia, and this is what I want to be talking about, like for the next week or so, where we are, how we're going to do it. People are pushing out the 23rd here next weekend, Carl, down in Canberra. Okay, so
yes,
there's a worldwide rally. So again, what's going to happen there? Are we getting organised for that? I know the 30th, the weekend after that, they want to do something at the Russian embassy with Cossack and the Russian embassy. So, so they're telling me here, I'll ring Brad after the show in Parliament House. Poor Brad's up there on his own, I think. So I'm saying, but he's a legend, mate. He stays in it. But yeah, unfortunately, not all of us can do that. We've got other things to do. But yeah, Brad's been an absolute friggin' stalwart up there, man.
Yeah, right.
All right. So yeah, how do we do this, folks? How do we do this, viewers? What's our next step? Are our farmers from Ballarat going to spark a little bit of insight into some other farmers around the place? And are we going to start to get some movement on the road? And maybe the truckers will come in and join us, and then we can all get a second wind and come and back you up, because we got 5 million people out there. Okay, and all we need is someone to light the wick again, like Jim Greer did the last time. Okay, that's all we need. Someone to light the wick, folks. Who's it going to be? Is it the farmers? Is it the truckers? What's going to happen?
So I'm not up to date with what's happened with the Ballarat farmers. What's going on there?
I'm just bringing it in, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to find that link to that website, that health website, but I can't find it at the moment. And that's the thing. It's all well and good to pass around these TikToks where people are talking about these great, supposed finds, but when you actually do your background, you go and the first thing is to go and try and find it yourself on the website. And if you can't find it on the website, then you've got to ask yourself, well, which website was he filming? Because clearly not the real one. So I can't find it on the real one at the moment, but it could be hidden under genetics, because they're not going to have it under a headline of aerial spraying, right? Yeah. They're going to have it in gene modification or genetic modification or genetics, or in those sorts of fields, and then you are going to see applications for aerial dispersal or aerial disbursement, and they're the ones that I think we're looking for, because they had, according to this video, this TikTok thing, DIR 184 was for the spicy cough. But there was a lot more other things in there too. Other things they were supposedly spraying for, including cancer. So, and that's a test on us all. And not just us all, it's everything. Everything. All right? It's not just every human, it's every animal, it's every plant, it's every cloud, it's every drop of water in every river, in every stream, in every ocean. It's everything. You know, they just where they spray it, everything gets it.
Yeah.
Everything.
It's everywhere.
So, and then that's the experiment. What lives? You know, and if it lives, how badly? How is it maimed? Maybe nothing. You know, maybe there is no bad result in a lot of cases. Let's pray. But we certainly know in some cases there's going to be a bad result.
Yeah, I certainly know personally, mate, from watching the effects of them, Carl. I know they're doing something, mate. So we just got to work out what it is and find out who we got to attack. But we can't go attacking the wrong people. They love us doing that. They love us being wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, but fortunately, I tell you, Carl, and let's blow our trumpet here, Kazza. I'll blow mine first. I've never been wrong, Carl. I might have been down on times and stuff, but everything I've ever predicted in the 2.5 years or so that I've been doing this, mate, has come right. And ever since Kaz has been on here with me, is also there's nothing that us conspiracy realists, okay, have really come out with when we thoroughly researched it and we know where the track is leading, that we've come out with that hasn't been right. You know what I mean? Nothing at all. It's incredible. You know, and I feel good about it. And if we have been, and we've something's got past us, mate, first one on the show the next night to go, we got it wrong. Okay, this happened. But I mean, you know, and if you take that statement back to what we've been telling you is going to happen here, folks, get ready, man. Where are we? All right, we can stop that. We can stop the pain now. But unfortunately, you people haven't, or not you people watching, sorry, but the people out there outside of our vacuum chamber have not gone through enough pain yet, like we were talking about the other night. Okay, and they're going to feel it soon because the farmers are kicking up now. So maybe this kicks something off. The general person I'm talking to now, engineers, different people like that, they're awake now to what's going on. Okay, and I've got their full backing now, you know, whereas before these people wouldn't even go near the subject. You know, but now they're going, Guru, support you fucking 100%, mate. Can't believe it. You know what I mean? But now it's in front of people. So it's our time to act, people, and the onus is on us. We're the ones that are awake. We know all this information, okay, and we've got it. So the onus is on us to try and get it out there, and that's what me and Carl are working on with Kazza in the background to try and get something out there where the normal people can turn on a dial on a radio and go, oh, what's this? Carl Leibold's got a breakfast show with Guru, fucking 3 days a week or whatever, you know, whatever it is.
You are never going to get out of bed and do bloody breakfast with me.
No, I know. I'm not neither.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you'll be the night. You'll be the.
Then I thought I could make a good breakfast announcement, but anyway. But no,
mate,
look,
you'll
folks,
be the
that's
dirty
what we're
night
trying
guy.
to do. Yeah, we're trying to get a channel out there that people can actually find. Okay, and we can have a normal radio station maybe going, but we've got all these other facets that come into it. You know, and like, who wouldn't want to tune into Carl for breakfast? You know, listen to the guy, mate. He's going to wake you up and get you on your feet. That's what his voice was born for.
Yeah, the head's not too good, but, you know.
One of the things that we need to be mindful of is that this is a war, and it's a irregular warfare that's being practiced. So don't be surprised when our side takes a hit. Look at what's going on with January 6th. That's come out that the FBI infiltrated the Proud Boys and led them and basically created that situation. But the January 6th committee are desperate and they don't understand. So don't be surprised if Trump is the first arrest. Okay, so now I'm just warning you. I'm just putting it out there that this is a possibility because they are at Camp Desperate, and if they don't act now, they're all going to be in a very cold prison for a very long time.
If they're lucky enough to make it to that cold prison. Yeah. Exactly right. Can I, unless you guys have anything expressly that you want to go on with?
Do you want me to have a look at the trucks? This is in Ballarat. Yeah. They're protesting the power lines. Can you see that?
Great. Oh, hang on. Let me share it at my end.
Righto, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Mate, we're on fire here, Carl. We're on fire, son.
John Deere are getting a good plug there, aren't they?
Mate, aren't they? What? Hey, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. They ought to get that. That's a good one to put a banner up over this Photoshop
Bloody
banner
oath.
for it.
Yeah, if I was the marketing guy for John Deere, I'd be checking that one out. There's a couple of Massey Fergusons. Is that the red one? I reckon those red ones would be Massey Fergusons.
Hey, the Rabbitohs have got the right colours here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're Case IH. Righto, Case IH. Yeah, right. Man, it's been long time since I've driven a tractor, folks. Long time.
Well, I tell you what, they got a lot of the market, that company.
That's awesome. So they're blocking up the main street of Ballarat and letting it be known they're not going to be tampered with. The big news out of that, of course, is in other countries at the moment, they are stopping farmers. I think this is part of the Netherlands thing. They're stopping farmers from planting crops and not giving them access to fertilizers or to nutrients or things that they need, which is essentially going to encourage starvation. So I don't know. It's unbelievable what some of these bastards are doing at the moment. It's
yeah, but see, they have to protest at the moment, and the people are agreeing with them because even though the shelves are empty, imagine how empty they're going to be if there's no food around. There's food around at the moment. They're just refusing to bring it in. But it's not just the farmers. What we haven't been shown is it's actually the boats as well. Have a look at this one.
Ready, Carl? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no, hang on. Kaz has only just sent it to me. There you go. Right out there it goes.
Come on, you slow son. Look at that. Look at that. Guru's flotilla. All the boys roped up together. That's cool. I love it.
It is pretty good, isn't it? That's not a bad idea, brother, eh?
Yeah. We'll shut down freaking Sydney Eds, mate. Oh, better not say that. Shit.
No, don't do that. You'll find yourself, being challenged for encouraging bad acts. Don't be doing stupid things.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
That.
Yeah.
So,
open for any traffic.
How are you guys feeling about a little bit of common law talk?
Yeah. I don't care what you want to talk about, Carl.
I have a guy who's calling me a coward in my box in my chat room here at the moment, and it's this Ken Loy guy who, if I thought he was brave enough, Ken, are you brave enough? Do you want to come into the chat with us?
Yeah, throw an invite out.
Ken. Let me know, Ken. I'll just scroll right down to the bottom answer. If you want to come into the chat, I'll post up the link. You can come in. Everybody can come in, but I'll only got room for a couple. But Ken Loy, if you want to come in, absolutely. And if you guys don't mind, Mel, you might have to send him a link. But if you don't mind, I would introduce Fitzroy Sterling to the conversation this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Because if we're going to have a common law conversation, we are going to do so with the best man I know to talk
maybe
the kind of common law.
That's going to get pretty in-depth. We'll end up with a 2-hour show, Carl. It's too hard to download, mate.
Oh, well, I think Fitz, are you there? I think we'd be able to put Ken Loy down pretty early.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yeah,
I can at least.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody can hear him. Nobody has to see him because he doesn't show his head. It's not that he's a very ugly man. It's just that he's a very shy man. So Fitz, welcome to the show.
Yeah, my viewers can hear him. I just want to make sure. Yeah.
So,
cool.
All good. So I'm just putting up one of Ken Loy's little statements tonight, Fitz. So, Carl, get this straight. You will not advertise the legit option for taking back power to the people under the original Commonwealth of Australia and the original Constitution. Fitz, I did explain to him maybe he should go and have a look at last Monday night's Magna Carta Learning Centre show. But upon further examples of some of the stupid things that he's come out with, I've sent him back to go and have a listen to lesson 1 and move forward. But that hasn't slowed him down. So can you please explain? I don't want to go back and find his great long explanation of how he thinks somebody's going to have a win using a 1297 Magna Carta. But can you briefly explain to Ken Loy why there is no legitimate option involving the original Commonwealth of Australia and the original Constitution, please?
Yeah. So first question I've got for Ken is, Ken, I need you to define the difference between knowledge and belief. So once you can define that, then you can ask any question you like. So you come give us a definition of that first. But while we're waiting for your definition between knowledge and belief, the difference is between slavery and freedom. That's the quick answer.
Yeah.
And if we had a legitimate constitution, we wouldn't be living in slavery because the people would be in charge, literally in charge. It's just that simple.
Yes. Fitz, I'd give you a round of applause off my machine because it really sounds like you figured out your microphone.
Yeah. Okay.
Very good. Give him the link. Hang on, he's going to come in. Do you want to have him in?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. We're not going to run the show. Well, yeah, our end, we're going to try and keep them down just for download time. We put them out so many places, Carl. It's just convenience. But, yeah, maybe we get him to do another one tomorrow or something. But, yeah, bring him in.
Yeah, okay, so it's just gone an hour and a minute. I beg your pardon. Yeah, right. So I've sent him the link, or I've thrown the link into the chat. Yeah. So, Ken, you better come up saying Ken Loy. Otherwise, we're going to get flooded with people. So.
Carl, I haven't done a 15 Magna Carta yet. Okay, so there you go. I haven't done one of them for my people. We've done a lot of other things. We've let everybody on here with their common law, their everything else. So, maybe that's something we could look at is get Fitz on, and I'll do one on my. Maybe we can do a double stream like this to both our people. You know what I mean? And and just do an exploratory one. Of the Constitution against and make it an hour and a half special so everyone can jump in. We've got this worked out now, this link, we can feed to both lots. And I think, I haven't done that yet. So the 12:15 is yet to be covered by my channel.
All right. Well, I'm sure we can line up something for you, Fitz. I'm sure we can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, I don't know if Ken Loy is coming on because the only person I've had try and join the show so far is someone called Your God. Okay. I can tell you, Your God, go back, get out, change your name to Ken Loy. You've got a much higher chance of getting on.
All right. Well,
you don't have an account. You don't need an account, Ken. Just click on the bloody link, you goose. Stop making excuses. Click on the fucking link. All right?
More excuses in the deep state.
Bloody excuse factory. God, we're going to kill you when you get on here, mate. You're going to be so embarrassed, I can tell you. But anyway, it's nice entertainment. No, it's nice entertainment for the three of us and the 500 people watching my channel at the moment. I don't know how many are watching yours, but,
Yeah, our numbers, you wouldn't know, mate. You couldn't tell, Carl. So, listen, why don't you keep Sterling in that studio? And we'll knock this off, all right? But we might, we can just come out, everyone will know, and we go live.
Yeah, mate,
just put out a thing, And,
and you're welcome to come back. In fact, you haven't logged in already, have you? I've got Guru's left testicle has just joined me.
Unreal, mate.
Everybody but Ken Loy. Anyway, sorry, Ken, you can't. I don't know. You can't figure out the link, Ken. I don't know. Just copy and paste it, stick it in any browser you like, mate. It'll work. But if that's too hard for you, then no wonder you're following what you're doing. Oh, PR guys come in for a bit of a chat. Well, if you guys want to go, you guys go, and you've got the link. You can always come back and join me. You don't have to start another show. So people can just come over to
okay.
My dog's having a dog attack. You know how cats have cat attacks? Yeah, my dog's carrying on.
Zoomies.
Okay, so, hey, guys, hang on a minute. Let me have it. Righto. So what we're going to do is I'm going to exit out of this live broadcast, and Kazza will exit out of yours, Carl, and you'll be there, and then Kazza can get off, do the downloads, do the stuff, and I can come back into your stream for your key.
Yeah. The same key that I sent you before should work. So you should just be able to click on it and you'll come back.
Go, Kazza, or what? Yeah?
Yep. That's good.
And then our show's got cut to the hour, and you've got the long version, Carl, from your studio.
Yeah. We can just run it from here, and I'll download the whole lot and put it up at Project Matilda a bit later. It's all cool.
No, we're
Or it
killing
won't.
this.
We'll
We're
just see what
smashing it,
happens.
mate. All right,
just
so
see
we're
what
going to
happens.
close the first dual stream lives that have ever been done, I think, on StreamYard and Facebook and YouTube. Because I don't think anyone else has done what we've just succeeded in doing here, guys. This is big stuff. So I'm gonna end my broadcast, and I'll see you back in here, Carl. Okay, Kaz, you want to say good night?
All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Kaz, thank you. What a legend she is, and departed the building she has. So Aaron, Ken's probably Dan Andrews' old trader dictator Dan. Yeah, well, I don't know. He hasn't managed to. Oh, you're still in, Guru. So there you go.
Hang on, because I got that's how many computers we got running here.
You can close down one. Yeah, you can close down one stream and still be live here. So that works well. At least we hope it does work well. We're getting there. So look, folks, it doesn't look like Ken. Oh, Dan Andrews. Oh, I can't read it. Oh God, come on, Ken. I love it.
I'm still waiting for Ken to answer the question. Knowledge.
You haven't seen him. Yeah, he hasn't come on. Oh, I'm on iPad. He says. Does that make a difference? I don't know. I'm working on a Mac. I'm working on a Mac over there, and I've got an iPad. I mean,
I can
really put it to the test. I mean, I've got an iPad too.
Can I come in? Ken, you are a friggin' clown. We are running multiple computers here, right, between 3 different fucking locations in fucking Queensland and New South Wales. We have worked out how to studio mix them, 3 friggin' amateurs, and you can't find a link to come to a stream? Come on, buddy. Give me a break.
Plenty of great arguments. Good luck. Good luck processing that argument you reckon you're going to go well with, mate. If you can't even join the friggin' stream. Oh, hang on, Ken here. Well, hang on. It says Ken Lloyd probably. So let's go. Fingers crossed.
Hey, Guru, define expenditure. Come on, define it. What is expenditure?
Expenditure?
Define it. What is expenditure do you want to tax?
Anything.
Hang on, Ken. Let's go back to the whole reason you got on here to begin with. Let's not just get on and start attacking the Guru. Let's go back to the stupidity you began your whole conversation in this evening with. Tell us your great idea and how everybody is going to win following it. Please, the floor is open to you. And why don't you get really brave and turn your iPad camera on, mate? Let us see you.
Did you not notice the ... Probably that's a joke. I'm not actually Ken Loy.
Then fuck off. Sorry about that, folks. So I'm not into the joke. I want to talk to Ken Loy tonight. I'm happy to have anybody else in, but Ken Loy, come in. All right? Come in. Seriously, come in. I mean, I'm not into. If we want to have a play around night, I'm happy to have people asking questions. But right now, Ken Loy, come in. Not Ken Lloyd, probably.
So who was
not
that?
Ken Lloyd, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Some got Ken Lloyd, probably that was. So probably not.
Anyway, you just need to watch one of Ricardo's live streams, and you work out how the 2% expenditure tax, and it's been vetted, and been looked into by other people, and it actually works. Yep. So how good would that be to keep $98 of? Well, you're keeping all your money. If you spend no money if I sail on my boat for a month and I don't spend any money, but I've got guys working and I'm collecting money, guess what? It doesn't cost me anything. If I come in to port and buy some diesel, well, I'm going to pay $2 in every 100 when I buy my diesel. Fair call. Yep. I reckon it's brilliant, mate. And you and me we know the inside of it, Carl. It's a goer.
Yep. Absolutely. Hang on. I got now the real Ken Loy. So it says.
Guru, you're gutless, grifting.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, right. All right. See, now, let's get one thing straight here, folks, okay? I've spent 40 years answering radio station phone calls from prize pigs looking to win prizes from me or to get on the radio and try and sneak fuck into it somewhere so that you could hear yourself on the radio say fuck. And how funny that'd be. I've spent my entire career in a delay system because it's illegal for me to let you say fuck on the radio. And we've had to, learn how to dump out retards on the radio and numpties who come on the air. So I'm pretty good at just dumping you, and I don't have a delay. And what's more, I'm allowed to say fuck here. So you're either going to cop a mouthful of abuse that has been pent up in me for 40 years for wasting our time, or I'm going to have a real lot of fun with you, and you're not going to come out well. So please don't waste our time on nights where we're trying to be serious. Ken Lloyd.
Yeah, I don't give him much airtime. I don't give him much airtime at all, Carl. Got a couple I play with, Tom Rogers, that's about it, mate. Head of the AEC. I'll have a little bit of a joke with Tom, but the majority of them. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm a gutless grifter. Next question. Can't wait till we win, Carl.
Hang on.
Ken, I'm still waiting. Ken, I'm still waiting for you to answer the question of define knowledge and belief. No personal attacks. Just come out and answer the question. Define the difference. That's all that's required of you. Nothing else. If you're not going to come on and do that, you're going to get dumped again, my friend. So come on when you're ready to answer the question.
Or just type it in the comment. Just type it in the comment.
He's going there. He's saying in the comments that we're not giving him the link. The link's already in there, you goose. You use the same one, mate. You just come in.
Yeah. Everybody else can find the link, including Ken Loy, probably. Ken Loy iPad.
Maybe Ken Loy is the missing link, Carl.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So Ken's now saying that he knows Darren Bergwerf. All right? Hang on.
Oh, right.
Hang on. Let me ring Bergwerf. Let me get Darren in. We can get him in here.
I didn't know I was going to be part of a circus show tonight.
I'm sorry.
What is it?
But I figured you needed a laugh, brother. So,
I didn't know I was coming to
invite
this
you
level. This is some.
What was that show on telly where they had all the boxes up there and there was different people in different box and they had to oh man, I remember watching it when I was a kid. Celebrity blanks or something.
Not blankety blanks.
Yeah, it could have been. And was that it? No, they had one where all the people were up there in boxes and they had that ugly Dave Gray and
yeah, that's the one. Blankety blanks.
Yeah.
Blankety blanks.
Okay. Yeah.
And hello to the great and wonderful Don Blake, who was the voiceover guy for that. Lives in the hinterland out behind Byron there, a beautiful part of the world, and Federal, I think it is from memory. Lovely man, Donnie Blake, beautiful man. Voiceover legend. Okay, so he's big in my world. Nobody else knows him. All right, great, thanks. Anyway, no sign from. Now I've got Craig Kelly UAP joining me. Hasn't he resigned? Hasn't got a party anymore, so they can't really have a party at the end of UAP, can they? Oh, they do have a party. They got a bloke in Victoria, didn't they? Yeah, all right. So I don't know, Guru. What is defined expenditure all about?
Okay, defined expenditure just means that expenditure is defined, and it's defined as your expenditure. It's defined as 2%. Now, Rick will give you the breakdown on everything that goes and all of our normal taxes and things like that. How we run the country on hypothecation, import tax, export tax is all stuff that has to be worked out. But what we're talking about here is the average Joe Blow on the street, that we can get back to a system. I mean, if you earn $1,000, you keep $1,000. We don't pay the cabal 60% of our wage anymore. And that's the bottom line of it. So you can argue about what's expenditure tax, what's this, what's that, whoever's asking the question out there, Carl. But the bottom line is it's a new start to a new process, which is fair and rectable for all people. You imagine if you can, you just think about it, Carl. You went out and done, $2,000 worth of radio work a week and you've come home and, because they happen to have supplied you lunch and dinner and breakfast down at the radio station, that's a whole different environment now because we're telling the truth and we've got nice people in there. And it's actually a community where you go to work and it's a totally changed environment. Carl's not even spending any money each week. Yeah. So we got a lot of good things to look forward to community-wise, folks, but we got to build them. Okay, we've got to build them. But the building blocks are out there. We just need to start picking them up, putting them together. Okay, but we're doing that. People like us are trying to do that in the background now. All we need is for all you people to jump on with us and start throwing the bricks to us. Okay, and we can build it. Okay, but we just need help to build it. Okay, and we need it because if we don't need it, if we don't get it, we can't get outside this vacuum chamber of the 5 million that we've got in the country that are willing to be out there and be, heard and standing up. Okay, but we need to get outside that vacuum chamber. And this is the idea Carl and I have got, is to get something outside the vacuum chamber where we can get a frequency out there and someone hits their bell, hey, listen, oh man, you hear about this guy, and if we can have a normal radio station and compete.
More particularly, we can tell your stories, folks. If you watched the interview on Tuesday night with Ricardo Bosi, you saw a man ask, he didn't ask a question. He was the first fella to stand up and ask a question, supposedly, but he didn't. He made a statement, and he was in pain. He was describing the pain that he's gone through with his family, with his friends, being ostracized and being banned essentially from family gatherings, segregated from his mother, saying last goodbyes to his mother through a glass pane, having to hold their hands up against the glass pane and having their last kiss through a pane of glass. The man was in tears at the end of that. Now, these are stories not unique, unfortunately. There are many people suffering, and your story needs to be heard. The more stories like this that people hear, the more strength others will gather from it, and we will gather together. We will band together because it's not good enough that the people are treated this way. Jesus, Dave, we're going to have to move that boat of yours.
I was just going to chime in and say, if people really want justice, they need to start understanding trial by jury.
Absolutely.
They'll get their justice. Not only will they get their justice, they'll actually get the compensation, the legitimate compensation. And there's no statute of limitations on anything that the trial by jury does. There's no time limit. If the crime has not been seen to, and it happened 100 years ago, it's still alive and awake and ready to be settled. So as soon as people start learning trial by jury, then they're going to be in charge of their own destiny. If that's not in the conversation.
And so when do you think that trial by jury, when do you think, we we can't go out and do that, like you and I decide we're going to go out, dude, right? And we go, okay, let's go out and do a trial by jury. We get the people, we've had a few of them done. No one's listened. But when is the time that would actually come into practice? Like, is that when we get a takeover first and then we do all the trial by jury stuff? Or is that, part of the process to get in there,
Well, that's the 1215 Magna Carta information that's missing. Once that's understood, there's an actual step-by-step process. It's like an instruction manual of how all those pieces fall together. That's what's missing. We just don't have the knowledge in the numbers to be able to do that. That's the missing piece, right? And until people are willing to invest their time and energy to understand that, then it's just going to be chickens without a head, because there's no order or structure until we can actually finalize what was already started. See, government cannot have legitimacy until people grant it authority. And in order to grant government authority, there must be safety mechanisms in place where they are bound to a contract that if they breach it, so when I say government, I don't mean a fiction, I mean the men and women that are acting in that service.
Where they are bound to a contract if they breach
hang
it.
on,
So
they've got their speaker on somewhere. Something's happened drastically.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, sorry.
So they can only have legitimacy if they hold to their contract. That's what the Constitution is. The Constitution's got nothing to do with the people. The people are free. They're born free. As long as they stay within the confines of the collective conscience, so if they breach anything to do with anyone's integrity, then yeah, government can come and help the people, bring them to justice, because that's what we agreed to. But if government and agents and officers of government are doing anything outside of that, then they are liable. And the only way to make them liable is trial by jury. Because if you have government running the court system, you have a dictatorship.
Yep.
People must be in charge.
All totally agree with you, Fitz. Couldn't agree more. But at the moment, we seem to be getting, stonewalled, mate. We can try all these things, but they're just ignoring us. I mean, that is changing. You know what I mean? And I know people that are winning in the courts now in numerous different ways. Some are challenging through their own laws and using their own laws against them. Others are, working outside the system, as in some of the common law people, etc. We've got you guys, the other side, the Magna Carta 1215. Now, all this is great. And if the Magna Carta 1215 in your opinions are one, well, that's great too. But none of it at the moment seems to have the momentum behind it or the authority behind it to actually make a difference to these filthy swine frigging governments that don't give a shit. They don't care what we've got.
Authority comes in numbers. So it's just missing the numbers. And once the people get the knowledge, the authority will come. Because once you have the knowledge, you don't falter. And people just don't have the knowledge. That's what they're missing. It's just that simple.
I have somebody who's joined us who says at least they're not Ken Loy. I don't know. We'll see how we go. G'day, John Perrins. How are you, mate? I'm Carl. Nice to have you join the show. Fitz is there.
Good evening, evening.
How are you, mate? Do you want to share about where in the world you are with us, or is that something you're keeping hidden?
Well, no, I'm down in Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. G'day, Guru.
Lovely part of the world.
Yeah.
Hey, Blake, how are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. I'm giving everything a test for you guys. This is awesome what you've just set up, and I've been watching what the US doing, and you can call in and people are chatting about on freedom channels and stuff like that. So what you're setting up, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, John. Really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you very much.
It's my first time on the camera like this and then on the YouTube, so I appreciate it, Carl. Been following you once you got up and running, and I was in Canberra with Guru there for about 3 weeks. So
excellent. Cheers, John.
Yeah,
excellent, mate. So give us a rundown on Victoria at the moment,
as well. Mate. Epic boy, give us a cuddle, mate. Give me a cuddle.
Yeah. Cheers, man. Good. So we had a few guys up there, and obviously on the run, bailing out when we did out in the bush, and we were all part of it, mate. I never thought I'd be, running a war, especially in the bush of Canberra. Just amazing. Learn a lot.
It's certainly quite a family that's been built down there,
it was an absolutely
incredible. Yeah.
John, what's going on in Victoria at the moment? Chairman Dan obviously ruling with an iron fist. We haven't seen any coverage up here in Queensland of the farmers in Ballarat blockading the streets. Kaz had some on earlier. Are you seeing much of that? And is there much more talk of it growing in Victoria?
First I heard it was from you guys. I haven't had any mainstream media for about a month. No articles, just from you guys and on Gab. I've just been tuned in with some freedom movements in the US, seeing how they're mobilizing people from a military standpoint, I guess, and trying to everything you're talking about. And I used to run a group on Facebook, Australians Regroup, but I lost that, and then I lost my name on John Perrins. Had 5,000 people on Facebook. Lost that recently. Lost Twitter, 4,000 on Twitter. Gone. So I've lost everyone, and now I'm finding the links because you guys are doing the show. Yeah, Carl brought us in Bundaberg. Everyone's speaking the same, and now this is where we're at. We need to connect, especially in these ways. And I thought, well, I'll give this a go. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on my iPhone here, and I'll see if I can get on. Carl's linked
good.
This is what we
let's
need.
Get you back. Let's get you back out there, and let's build up your base crowd again. And let's get, because this is what we need to do. We need to be helping each other. We can help you rebuild a channel by getting my viewers onto you and Carl's viewers onto you, bloke. That's what this thing's about, man. This is exactly what it's about.
You guys speak to Ricardo, the boss, but I introduced myself to him when we were all up there. I'm a veteran, ex-military.
Thank you for your service, John. Thank you for your service, mate.
Thank you.
No worries. But been watching all you guys every day, and we've been following it. So now is the time, and hence the banner. Regroup. And there's a lot of talk, I guess, behind the scenes too. People are meeting also, and and small groups are talking and building with all the same vision, I guess, what you're promoting here.
Well, we're trying to promote a community, and if we can grow it at every level, it's got to start at the ground and move its way up. And we support each other all the way through, and that's how people will rise in the community. People we learn to trust in our own community, and then from that group, someone will rise that we trust to represent us in Canberra, and that's how we get our people, our voice back in Parliament. Because at the moment, the people don't have a voice. As soon as the voice we elect goes there, it gets muted.
I think what we proved, John, at Epic was that we can build these communities, mate. Epic come together in such a wow, the library, then into Epic, and we just built. And what do we build on? We build on the love of fellow human beings loving each other. And that's all it was. We were all there. We had this connected energy because everyone didn't even know why they were there. They just got drawn to the place, and we all come and we all met and we had this like kinetic energy that was just rumbling through the place, mate. You will never, ever put it back together again. It won't happen. But what we learnt there is that we don't need nothing to build the communities. We just need each other. And in that, we've got all the skill base we need to do anything we want to do. And we proved it down there, bloke. It was just a magnificent time. I've still got so much footage, John, and me and Mel, with her on the back of that Yammy 650 I was riding around. We got hundreds of thousands of people in the place and riding up the road. Mel's on the back and people are running out the road and just high-fiving me. Hey, Guru, we've done it. We've done it. You know what I mean? It was and I haven't even looked at them videos, man. Mel's on the back of the 650, like hanging on, you know what I mean? And we were all out through the back of the paddocks and, amazing, mate, amazing.
So, Guru, I've got a question from somebody in the chat. Want to know how we wake these people up who only watch mainstream media, who only, have that sort of a mentality.
Well, okay, how do we do it? I don't know. Can we take their mainstream media, though I can't go too far with that statement, but that'd be a good way, wouldn't it? If we could just, maybe there is no more mainstream media telegraphs pumping out signals. That's the only way you're going to stop them, I think. I don't know. A white ant festation, I got no idea, because I think that the people that are not awake now, look, people are starting to wake up. Okay. And people are starting to realize that things aren't right, but we need that to really explode now. And we need to use the momentum of what we've got going on worldwide to kick us here. How we get that to those people, I don't really know. Do we go and sit out at shopping centers, or like we might do down here next week, Carl? We go over there and we sit in the public and we do a live stream with our computers, mate. You know what I mean? And we just do it out in the open air and we wake people up. That's what we're thinking about doing here in Wollongong. But maybe we get projectors and we go to shopping centers until we get kicked out and you run stuff. I don't know how to get to these normies, because half of them, my missus is saying she was out somewhere this morning. She had to go to fucking Service New South Wales or something because about our fines or something. They wouldn't listen to us. So she had to go in there in person. And then they told you got to do it on the net anyway. But anyway, Mel's gone in there and they're asking whether she's had COVID, this, that, and the other. And then this old lady behind her, as Mel's walked in, she's gone, oh, yes, I've had all mine and I'm due for my 4th in 7 days. I can get my 2nd booster. And this lady was so excited that she was actually ready for her 2nd fucking booster. And this is what we're finding, and this is older people, but I mean, this is what we're finding. They've been that duped down, Carl. I don't know if there is any chance of waking them up. Maybe we're fighting with the 5 million we've got, and the 5 million we got need to come together now and friggin' do this job. Maybe that's it, Carl. Maybe that's all we've got.
Well, I don't know.
History shows you only need 10% if they're organised.
Well, 10% is 2.5 mil. So we got 5, we got 20.
Yeah, so we're just not organised. That's what's missing.
Yep. Not coordinated, not organised.
Okay, why aren't we organised? Yeah. And,
well, because
and I can talk on a couple of topics.
I think because
whether I should or not, Carl, I don't know. I should private message you.
Well, no, I think we're splintered. We could leave it at that. We're splintered at the moment. There are a number of groups with a number of solutions. We need to bring together all of those groups, or the leaders, hate that word, but the people at coordinating those groups. How about that? The coordinators of those groups.
Yeah.
We need to bring them together. We all need to sit down. We need to hash this out. And then we can all be on the same page. We can all be on the channel. We can all be pushing the same message, and the people will know that it is one message to follow. And because we've hashed it out, we've figured it out. There will be education involved. Everybody will get a say. But I think that has to start with the people who are at the moment being seen to, again, that word I don't know, to coordinate the different movements. Now, I'm not a movement. I'm just a channel. You are not a movement. You're just a channel, but you've been at the movement for a long time, and your channel has grown from the movement. I guess mine has grown from the movement too, but in a different way. Aussie Cossacks, different way. And I'm not sure, John, how yours started, but it probably grew organically as well, yeah?
Not so much a channel, just what I do to get information out and share information for no reason at all. But there's someone, Monica Smith tonight has set a freedom video out coming up, maybe with a 1 day, one world protest where all country on the 1 day come. So I've seen that link tonight. I've shared that out. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Haven't seen that yet. I have heard that.
No, I was talking. We're talking to someone who is actually. I'm talking to someone, or we are talking. My crowd is talking to someone who was actually invited to that meeting. Guru didn't get an invite. I don't get an invite to things like that. But that doesn't worry me.
That I think it's grouse just to be. I'm full-time dad, so it's good to just speak to some adults about the crap we speak. I want to speak about every day. So speak to our mates. Right. So it's having you on, and we phone up for a chat, and it's all about a chat, not me growing or anything like that. It's just passing on the information that the people have shut Facebook, Twitter, all the truth, everything. And this was outrageous, mate. Yeah. Outrageous. It's insanity. So I've seen the blocking, the everything. You say the truth, and like. Shit, I just live down Mornington Peninsula and they're shutting me down, jeez.
Yeah.
I love that comment there, Carl. I love that comment, Carl. Hey, some people have got some marketing ideas out there.
Yeah, they certainly do, don't they?
So, guys.
Yes, Fitz.
I was just going to say, what if the 2.5 million to 5 million people understood that a constitution is a contract that binds agents and officers of the crown, not the people, and it has in it the penalties for when they breach that contract, and all it's waiting for us to do is to hold them to their own contract.
Because they wrote this contract.
Exactly. What if 5 million people knew that?
So all you've got to do is hold them to their own contract. And that's what Magna Carta 1215 does.
Well, we need to do it. We need to do another show on that, and get a condensed hour-and-a-half show out there, Carl, really smacking it out, and having people come in and challenge us on things. That's how we learn, folks. All right, not by sitting here and listening to everything me, Carl, Fitz, and John are going to tell you is gospel. By people actually challenging us and going, okay, but hang on, what about this avenue? What about that avenue? That's what we want to hear. I don't want to be sitting here. You know what I mean? Talking and having people out there like Biden reading the telescreen and gurus here telling us what to do, and that's what we're going to do. No, challenge us. Challenge us. That's exactly what we need, because I am in a position where I have to be right. I am in a position where I have to look after myself, okay? And I'm in a position of humble authority that's been given to me that I take very, very friggin' seriously, okay? So we all need the help, and we all need to be, held accountable and ask questions. And as I said to you all, I will answer any question, man. Any of you shills out there that want to keep harassing me about this and that, you've all had your chance, you know what I mean? And I'm willing to answer any question. I don't care, you know what I mean? But more to the point, right, is forget everything and all the stories that have gone on. Where are we now? Right? We are at a point of history where the world has lit the fuse. Okay.
Right.
And Australia's sitting here and we are not jumping on the bandwagon yet, folks. Okay. We got something happening in Ballarat. That's great. I'm ecstatic for it. I'm over the moon. Okay. But let's keep the momentum going, folks. Okay. And back to the question, how do we get this outside the MSM? I don't know. That's what me and Carl are working on now. And we don't know. We can't answer that question because they are censoring us I've lost my Twitter account. Okay, they're just censoring us in all avenues. It's just incredible. And I can't go on a Twitter space now. I can't get intel. No, I can. But yeah.
All right. So Ken Loy, who started all this, has sent me a file which I will share with you. You saw it pop up on the screen. Now I haven't read the file. I haven't scrolled down it. I don't know how many pages it is. Ken, let me get something straight here. I'm going to scan this thing really quickly. And Fitz, please scan this thing really quickly. And I'm sure something is going to pop out to one of us fairly smartly where we're just going to say that's enough. We need to go no further. And we're just going to put it down there, and maybe I'll send you a detailed email, or maybe I won't. You'll just get the idea. So anyway, let's share the screen there, and here is Ken Loy's document.
Can you make it any bigger, Carl?
Can I make it any bigger? It's not
Reclaim and restore the Commonwealth.
Is that? Oh, that's probably a bit big.
Yeah, that's better.
Is that better?
I can read that.
I'll get rid of that piece of shit there. Right. Okay. So reclaim and restore the Commonwealth, which doesn't exist in brackets. Core objective: lawful election to be conducted to provide the opportunity for the people of the Commonwealth of Australia, Crown subjects.
All right. Let's just stop it there.
Jesus, I thought we'd get through the first paragraph.
You can't have a lawful election if there's no lawful structure in place to hold it. We don't have a lawful structure in place. It doesn't exist. So if you have an election while there's criminals masquerading as government, then you are committing more crimes. It's that simple. So if you want to understand what I said, you need to go back into the Magna Carta lessons that we've run. It's all there. But you need to care enough to want to go do it. So right there, Ken, you don't know what you're talking about.
Right. Okay.
All right.
I think
next.
Right. I think that probably ends Ken's enjoyment for the evening. Got a line.
No, hang on. Okay. Sarcasm aside, this is where these shows are good. What Ken should do now is go back and research why there is no actual real Commonwealth. And that's this is what these shows are about, folks. It's not about sitting here and listening to us and believing everything we say. It's actually going out and doing the research yourself to convince yourself, okay, that we are correct or that avenue is correct. Okay, that's what these shows are all about.
I'm just trying to find lesson 1 so I can post the link up for you.
So people need to understand the difference between lawful, what's law, and what's legislation. And far too many people confuse legislation with law. Government cannot make law. They can only create legislation. And legislation is there for the purpose of how they're going to go and do their job in service to the people, not in domination of the people. You have an election now, you are just granting authority to more domination, because we need to weed out all the criminal activity that's happened for the centuries before Australia was even a colony, before we can even start looking at Australia. There is compensation coming to every single original that lives on this territory, that the Magna Carta and following that system will grant them. that you won't
Just hang
get
on a
anywhere
second.
else.
Fitz, hang on. Ken's got loud again. He can't figure out how to click a link. He can send an email, but he can shout in chat. Keep going. If you're not scared, continue. Well, there's no point in continuing. We've just proved that your whole premise of your argument is false. All right? If you can't hold a lawful election. All right? So, end of argument. You're basing your whole argument on being able to hold a lawful election. You cannot hold a lawful election.
So basically, Ken, what you're saying is that it's like getting a tree that's an imitation tree and it's hollow. And you think you can go and cultivate the soil by which that hollow imitation tree is planted in. And all of a sudden, if you water it and cultivate it, leaves are going to start growing. That's what you've just said.
Ken
that's what this whole constitution was. But you can't have elections. Okay. You can't have elections before the criminals are first brought to justice. That has to happen first. And then the people have to understand what an actual constitution is first. The fact that the 1901 Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act was a pantomime. The 1688 Bill of Rights, that took away the whole structure by which the people actually had a voice through the head of state, which we call the monarch, because they take a coronation oath to actually uphold the people's sovereignty. Now, Ken, you need to know what sovereignty means. First, you need to define that. So start coming with some actual terms and definitions before you start espousing a bunch of words that you don't understand why they're connected to each other. So if the monarch doesn't hold to their coronation oath, they are out of a job. That's the only way they have authority. And in their coronation oath, it says to uphold the laws of God. Well, where in the laws of God does it say that we get to be dominated by the people we elect into our service? Where does it say that? So if they don't uphold the laws of God, they don't have a job. And if they don't have a job, no government has a job. Because the only reason they would have lost their job, the head of state, which is of the entire Commonwealth, not the fake one of the Commonwealth of Australia. The entire Commonwealth, there's only one. It's the Commonwealth of Great Britain. And if they don't uphold their role, that means that they weren't doing their job, and that is keeping government in check. So
is it not Great Britain and Ireland? Is Ireland come into that somewhere, or am I? Yeah.
Yeah. But shortened. It's called Great Britain.
Cool. I was just clarifying, making sure my head was right. That's all.
Yeah. So if they don't hold their job, they don't hold to the terms of their contract, it's a job contract. That's all it is. Because they're meant to be elected into office. It's an office. It's something that was created by the people to serve the people. They are not our master. They hold the people's sovereignty and in trust. That means we trust them. They need to be someone of high integrity that we would choose. Well, how many monarchs do you know that were elected into their job? How many? They don't have the right to hand their job down to their child. That's not an agreement that was ever made by the people, ever.
Okay, so I've had a little bit of a look further at his document. So can you guys see that now?
Yeah, it's coming in. Yeah.
So this is the decree to restore the Commonwealth.
Oh gosh, not this.
Yeah, so I thought you'd love to see this. Now, this is page 4, I think, of the document. Do you want me to read this, or I suppose? Do you want me to read this?
Do you want to put yourself through it?
Well, you pull me up at each. Well, not each point. Maybe we'll get through a paragraph.
Yeah, we won't get through it if you do that.
No, pull me up. All right, here it goes. Whereas the people of the Commonwealth of Australia and the Dominion of New Zealand, both constitutional monarchies, common law countries, and autonomous communities of people whom have a natural-born allegiance to their homeland and are, as such, vested with the supreme authority to rule their nation for the common good of their people. With that authority comes the obligation and duty to protect and defend our nations against all foes with the legendary valor of the Anzacs, who fought and died to protect our nations and freedoms. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. John 15:3. We the people are the custodians of the Commonwealth, and have the responsibility and duty of care for the young and vulnerable. Their lives must be full of joy and contentment, not fear and anxiety. The land is common to us all, and the nation's resources and wealth are not ours to squander or lose, and we all have an obligation to preserve its riches for the prosperity of future generations, their well-being, and above all, their God-given right to be free and have peaceful enjoyment thereof. The Commonwealth has been usurped by stealth and subterfuge and replaced with a counterfeit corporate lookalike. We, the people of the Commonwealth, must reclaim our nations. We, the members of the Commonwealth Custodians, having a true love and faithful allegiance to our nations and its peoples, do hereby decree with pure intent and good faith, with clean hands, our right to reclaim the offices of the Commonwealth that were originally created by the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900, gazetted on the 1st day of January 1901. These offices have been, by deceit and treachery, usurped earlier than you think, and then abandoned by the conspirators when they moved into the counterfeit corporate offices that are foreign to the Commonwealth. We reclaim these offices in the name of the people of the Commonwealth and do this as public servants for the common good of our nations and its peoples, while humbly relying upon the blessing of Almighty God. We call upon all natural-born allegiance to the Commonwealth to join us in peacefully reclaiming what has been usurped from us and is rightfully ours. We declare on this day, the 11th of November in the year our Lord 2021, for and on behalf of the people of the Commonwealth of Australia and the Dominion of New Zealand, by the Commonwealth Custodians as caretakers and public servants to the peoples of these nations, until our Commonwealth is restored and we can have proper elections in accordance with the Constitution. That at the time you were without Christ, being aliens from the Commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without God in the world. Right. That's signed by him.
Yeah, and look at the crown that's on there. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
This is the Commonwealth Custodians, man. I'm just fed up with this same stuff keeps repeating. You guys are falling for traps. You know, I've just told you there's no such thing as the Commonwealth of Australia. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That's a fiction.
Yeah.
The Bill of Rights, right? That's what the High Court works off, the Bill of Rights. Have you guys read the Judicature Act? It makes Parliament sovereign and grants them the authority to be the punisher, the one who creates laws. That's what your 1901 Commonwealth of Australia or 1900, whichever version you want to choose, it does the same thing. You might call that ego, my friend. I call that fact.
It's fact, and if
it's
anything,
verifiable fact. I can show
a conversation about ego with Fitz is just bark, and it's a toothless dog barking up a wet tree. It's just waste of time. You've got no hope. There is no ego in the man. I can attest to that. I'm just trying to have a look down the document to see if there's anything that's remotely interesting. Here's the new strategy. Oh no, this is the current one.
How many people here know that the King James Bible was written as banking trust law? How many people know that? And they use it in those fake courts right now.
Yeah, I can give you a few things to think about with the King James Bible.
He was a treasonous monarch. He was a Catholic, owned by Rome.
He liked dressing up with his son too. And his mother, Mary, Queen of Scott.
I've probably seen enough of Ken's document now. So hang on a minute. Let me see. Okay, Fitz, what's your plan to actually remove the corporate? So look, Ken's argument. Well, he doesn't have an argument now. He's asking what yours is to actually remove the corporate. Fitz,
Ken, go back.
That.
Go back to lesson 1 and work your way through it. And then when you've caught up, then come and ask me then. All righty?
Yeah.
But while you're sitting here with no knowledge, we've put in the time and effort, right? Put in lots of hours, like literally like 20, 30, 40, maybe even 100 hours of work have gone into this. Of personal research.
Just the lessons we've put together. Yeah.
Yeah. You've just cut and pasted someone else's document. That's all you've done. You've taken someone else's work. And now you want to claim that as an authority. Really think about that, my friend.
Just posted lesson 1 up again there, mate. There's no ego in anything that we do, even though I would think that Fitz has every right to have a certain ego about the level of knowledge that he has acquired. And I'm sure Dave has a certain level of knowledge that he's acquired in his industries that would equate to a certain level of ego. And I can damn well tell you that in my industry, ego is rife. But I don't play ego here. It's not about ego. This is not about me. This isn't about Fitz. It's not about John. It's not about Guru. It's about all of us.
It's about winning the war.
Yeah. So there is no egos in war, my friend. There is just good shots and bad. And at the moment, we'd prefer to try and educate you so he cannot talk to the people.
So I saw a comment up here saying that it's all it's all on paper, Magna Carta's on paper, etc. See, what you need to understand, guys, is common law is the will of the people. Doesn't matter if it's on paper or on sheepskin or whatever. It's who wrote it and what it represents. That's what matters here, right? So if you actually want justice, where you are going to be bound by the consciences of your collective community, if that's what you want, show me where it exists in that 1901 or 1900 imperial version of the Commonwealth of Australia. Show it to me. Where does it exist in there? Because I'm telling you what's existing there. You go look up section 73 and it tells you Parliament is the ones who create the courts. So the people that we elect into our service now have the ultimate authority. And under that 1901 Commonwealth of Australia Constitution, guess who owns the police? It's not the people. And if you haven't seen enough evidence of that right now, I'm not sure what more I can tell you. Because the police are not police. They are meant to be constables. A constable is meant to be elected by the community from which they come. And they need to be a man or woman of honor that the people trust, understand not only the common law of the land, but natural law. That's an even higher understanding. And if they understand natural law, they would never do anything against the people, not even in a thought. And if they did, they'd just as quickly come before the people and stand trial before them. And you show me where that exists in that 1901 Commonwealth of Australia Constitution. Show it to me. Show it to me where it exists in that document that you just put up. That is called natural justice, Ken. In a natural justice tribunal where you're being judged from conscience, not from ego. Because when you're judging your neighbor, the thing you're really paying attention to is what would it be like if it was me standing in front of the jury? Would I want a fair hearing? Would I want them to take the real time and energy to really look in to my specific situation and really understand it deeply before they pass judgment on me? Would I like that? There's the questions you need to start asking, Ken.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I've got nobody else in here at the moment other than John. Let me just kick somebody out who's yeah, we've got a whole bunch of folks. The Cookers have joined us in the private chat tonight. You'd be pleased to know, or the guys that like to call us the Cookers, at least anyway, Dave. So they've joined us.
I'm one of his stars, mate. I'm hot.
Ken Lloyd, I'm about to kick you, mate. You are such an idiot. So now you think that Fitz's plan is to show off his knowledge. You are such an idiot, Ken. You say one more stupid thing, I'm just going to kick you because I can't be bothered dealing with such absolute fucking tools. All right, it's Friday night. I haven't had a drink. Fitz is a plant.
Here's the thing about ego, guys. It's the ones who scream, who scream and yell about other people having ego. They're just projecting their internal state. That's all it is. Thank you for exposing yourself, Ken.
Oh, Jesus, let me show this. Hang on a minute. Let me show this. Fitz is a plant, hence no face. Ken, Fitz can turn his camera on if he so desired it. He could even find the fucking link to join us in this conversation as you were invited to. But no.
Wasn't that, thanks for that. That was good.
Yeah, thanks. John found it. John found it.
Yeah, because obviously.
And hang on, look. River Rob has found it. And he might get brave enough to turn his camera on too. River Rob, hello, welcome to the show.
Yeah,
Thanks for making the dinner, mate.
Well, I think River Rob's doing the dishes. Sorry, John. River Rob came back in, jumped over the top here.
No, you're right.
We'll have another go. We'll have another go, see if River Rob's there. Are you back, River Rob? Hello.
I gave him his whiskers. And I gave him some
hang on.
cuddles.
I want whiskers. Who's feeding the cat? Who's a good pussy?
And treats.
Meow. Oh, man. This is awesome. They're on a bit of a lag. I'm just starting to hear it come through their phone. All right, bit of fun. Anyway, they're not going to work. That's a bit of fun. Carl's doing Bosie. I'm using the F-bomb. I apologize, Brett, if you've got sore ears tonight. That's bad luck. Just how it is. Hello, Coral. I didn't see you in there. You may have just only joined us. I didn't see you earlier. You've been a bit quiet. God, Ken Loy. I did say, did I or did I not say one more stupid thing, boys? I think I'm pretty confident I did say, if he was to say one more stupid thing, we might just kick him. So I think I've had that stupid thing. I'll give you one more. Regan. Hello, Carl. Hello, Regan. Lovely to see you. Who are we speaking about, Luke? I'm not talking about Luke at the moment. Anybody else got any questions for Fitz? If not, go and check out, if you are interested in learning about Magna Carta 1215, go to my web channel at YouTube, NUN2K, NUNN2K, or just type in Magna Carta Learning Center Lesson 1 in YouTube search, and it should come up. Or just copy the link there. The rest should follow on afterwards. Some of them are quite long, and you might want a cup of coffee and a pen and a paper because you might want to write some of this shit down. It can be a little bit mind-blowing at times. Please do not skip ahead, because there is so much, Fitz, isn't there, that needs to be at least understood at a basic level before you can move on to the next level to truly understand how to employ it. There is no point going straight to our latest lesson, because while you will find all sorts of good information there and the way to employ it, you're not going to be able to get the right result because you don't fully understand how you need to represent yourself. So,
like it's really important that people understand the foundational meanings of the words. If they don't understand them, they're going to get fooled left, right, and center. See, language is a mind control program if you don't understand how it's manipulated against you. Because when people use words that they recognize, they have their own interpretation of them. So if I don't give you a clear definition of what I mean when I say a word, you're going to put your own personal biases into that meaning, and then you're going to believe whatever someone's saying to you is a truth, because it's your biases that you're attaching to what they're saying, because they're not being very specific with the meaning. So we go out of our way to be very specific with what the definition of the words are that we're using. So there's no confusion. There's no hidden intention. There's no capacity for manipulation. That's the true essence of learning. And you show me who does that when they speak. And if they don't, they're leaving it open to your interpretation. That's a deliberate mind control trick.
Now, let's be honest here. You've seen Ricardo Bosie using this, Fitz, or you've called me on it. You've said, oh, Ricardo says this, or Bosie says that. So he uses some of this language. I'm not going to ask you whether or not you think he's using it in error or is purposely using it, because we have our own opinions about that. But this is used in all sorts of areas, isn't it?
Yeah, like it would just be
I'm looking forward to this.
More beneficial if there was a clarity behind certain really pivotal words. Like that would really help just erase any doubt. And that, if you're really wanting to capture people, to know the depth of your integrity, it's really important to actually be super clear so there can be no room for personal interpretation. And so there's certain specific words that really do need clarity, and one of them is the rule of law. What does that actually mean? That's a pivotal one.
Absolutely. So go and check out those Magna Carta sites at None2K, Magna Carta Learning Center. We've got another one joining us. He's always very active in the... Oh, now he's turned himself off. That's gone. Are you still... He's always very active in the chats, and now he's joined us up face and with his face. Freely speaking. How are you, mate?
G'day, Carl. Great to be with you, mate. Hello, Dave. Hello, John. G'day, Fitz. Pleasure to be joining all you guys. You guys are legends, and you're doing God's work as far as I'm concerned, and you're keeping Australian honest, and that's pretty important at a time like this, mate. Carl, happy to join you. Happy to see everything's rolling very well for you, mate.
Thank you, mate.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the conversation so far and all the contributions, and so hello to everyone in chat. The majority of you are good people. I guess, Ken Loy, one thing, mate, let's run an experiment. How about you go and get a fine, maybe for speeding, not too high over the limit, but near enough so you have to attend court. Why don't you walk in court and present your free man status, mate, and tell us how you can use common law in court. Come back to us next week and tell us how you defeated the court system. You reckon Fitz's method is no good? Put it to the test, mate. Tell us all and show us all how it can be done.
Exactly. Keen to see how that works. And I know it can be made to work. I also know that making it work can result in you spending 12 months in jail while you prove your bona fides and get yourself out again. And then I also know that they're going to hound you for the rest of your life. But by all means, Ken, go and give the... Did I miss anything there, Fitz?
No, what I was going to say is I really love that idea, because this coming week, I actually was planning to show a few actual documents of people that I've helped that had court appearances for fines and other things, and nothing's come of it since they've utilized the process. So that was what I had planned for this coming week that we're going to do. So I love that. I wasn't even going to say anything, but that was a great segue to lead into that. So thank you.
So Monday night, 7:30, None2K, sure. Magna Carta Learning Center lesson number 10. Going to be an interesting one by the sound of it. I'm looking forward to that. That
just reminded me. I wasn't even thinking of that. So I appreciate the heads up. So yeah, I've actually asked people who have been able to, they didn't go into court once. They just went through the notice process and the fines disappeared. And another one was an intervention order, right? And they don't give that up in a hurry. Right? And that hasn't come good. Nothing's come of it. So if you can get this process off before you need to go into their criminal structure, you've got a pretty good chance. It's only once you're in their criminal structure, as soon as you step inside their fake courts, you're done no matter what you do. It's just that simple.
And Ken, we've enjoyed your company, but good night. That's the end of Ken. There'll be no more Ken.
Go on.
Yeah, I've had enough. That's a pain in the ass. He keeps going on wanting to see the plan. Fitz, what's the plan? We'll go back to lesson 1, you idiot. We've said it 4 times. Go through there. The plan is being outlined. It's not difficult to follow, for fuck's sake. We are after children viewing time. Yeah, it's up at 9:40. I can say that.
This is just really poor impulse control, right? Someone who has to know now. There's got no impulse control. It's just the problem right there.
Hey, I was dead serious, Carl. He should go to court. He should dispute an infringement, a fine against himself. He should implement common law status when he's there. Run the social experiment. At worst, it'll cost him $250 and a contempt of court ruling. He might have to go sit in the cells for an hour or two. The judge will let him back out. He'll present again in court. And let's see if the rubber hits the road or not, mate. Because he shouldn't be throwing Fitz under the bus. Fitz has done a power of work for us and for all the people on your channel for several months now. And he's been outlaying something, but been doing it, I guess, strategically, which is very important. and he wants people to be up to speed and have their grounding and a concrete footing before they do try to implement the strategy.
I think it's important that everybody understands. Fitz and I, when we started on this journey, Fitz could outline all this very quickly and very with great depth very quickly, but it is very difficult to understand, particularly when your mind is set in the present and you know the current legal system and you've that's all you've ever known, and it's very difficult to understand that there could be something different. So it is at my encouraging that we are taking this as slowly as we are, because I firmly believe that we can only go as fast as our slowest student learns. We can't go ahead. We can't leave people behind to learn this themselves, because we need as many people as possible. We need that 10%. We need that 20%, Dave. And we need them to know how this works, because when we all come together, when we have that power and we enforce what we can do through Article 61 of Magna Carta 1215, well, there is no malice, but there is no mercy.
Just wanted to jump in here. If I can jump in just quickly, there's a question. Fitz, how about helping getting Aussie Cossack out of jail? I'm not superhuman, right? I don't have magic wands that I can wave, but I'll tell you what, if every single individual who sent a postcard actually followed the process, that would be a lot quicker. So every single one of you that sent a postcard, start learning about the Magna Carta 1215, start learning about the notice process, send them off, and see what happens next.
Yep, because in numbers comes the power.
It can't happen any other way, man. It's not one individual. It's when we unite. We are the force. If we unite. If we're divided, that's all we are.
And as to the Aussie Cossack question, let me say this. It was within my ability, and I guess Guru's as well, to introduce a system whereby we could have had the Cossack released, I think. However, because of the way the Cossack was being held, it made it impossible for any of us to discuss that strategy with him. And employing that strategy has consequences. It has consequences to how you live the rest of your life. Okay? Now, I've never shaken Simeon's hand. I've never met him face to face. We've, developed our friendship online and over the phone. And I wasn't prepared to employ such a strategy without being able to inform him and get his approval or blessing to employ it.
Yeah.
His approval to employ it. Because the last thing you want to do is get him out of jail and then drop on him that he's essentially going to be on the run for the rest of his life. Is not a position I wanted to put myself or any of the rest of us in. So, yes, there is a solution that could be employed to get the Aussie Cossack out of jail tomorrow. But there are severe consequences to it, to employing it. And there are those people who are trying to educate you or teach you that for a fee, you can employ that and get out of jail free card. We'll be very wary about that get out of jail free card, because they'll put you in jail for a long time until you can prove it is a get out of jail free card. And to do that, you better know everything about how that get out of jail free card works. And that requires a lot of education, something you won't get inside a jail. So that's why the Aussie Cossack is still sitting where he is, because we haven't been able to get to him to tell him about the solution and see whether or not it's something he would really want to employ upon himself. I hope that answers that question. Do you think that covers it, Guru?
I think that does, mate. I think that, there's a lot of different ways that the people are attacking things, but what we need to do, is, and I'm just sitting here looking, Carl, and I'm going, look at the employment prospects here for people who actually know the Magna Carta for when we do win and take over. Here's the opportunity. The rest of the population needs to be taught. Who's going to do that?
Well, this is,
you know what I mean?
This is where
we need to bring everyone who was asleep and everyone who doesn't know what we're doing, even when we win this war. We got to bring all them people over there and actually educate them on what we've been educating ourselves on for a couple of years, which is not going to be an easy process either. So, yeah, there's an opportunity for work too, people. Study the Magna Carta, get up involved with it, and then, yeah, when we turn this thing over, you can go out and teach people about it. Because
Fitz, part of our plan is to be able to educate people enough so that they can stand as trial by jury jurors, isn't it? Because
so
it's not like
listen,
a normal jury system.
Listen up, guys. If you're really serious about this, right, we're going to need to create a video about what trial by jury actually looks like. Not a fake one, but a proper one. So start volunteering, guys. We're going to need people to be jury members. We're going to need people to be a convener, a sheriff, a bailiff, right? We need the accused, and we need the one who's aggrieved. We're going to need to start creating what it actually looks like. So people, even though they're not going to be standing in the court themselves, the subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what it's watching on a screen or if it's real life in its face. So these are the things we can start doing now if we start pulling together, but we need people to understand it first. So, everyone who's listening here, right? Are you going to want to come and contribute to that? So start learning if you are, because that's the change, right? You've got two choices in life, right? You can sit there complaining about how life is, and accept it for the way it is, or you can take responsibility for changing it. That means you need to act, guys. Doesn't matter what knowledge you have, until you start putting it into action, it counts for nothing. And the only thing that frightens this criminal structure is if we organize around the truth. They don't care that we know the truth. They're terrified if we organize around it. They're packing themselves.
Yep.
So that's all that's missing, guys. So you want to argue with me? Fine. Argue with me all you like. Call me an egomaniac, all you like. Is that going to get you what you really want?
Sticks and stones.
Where is your energy best served?
Yep. Should have probably left Ken in for a little while. I'm sorry. He might have learned something there. Maybe if anybody knows Ken, they can pass that on.
I think Fitz is spot on. At the end of each broadcast you have, Carl, excuse me, you play a little clip and it talks about one ant. And if that one ant stands up, if the rest of the ants follow him, well, then the power structure's got a big problem on their hands. And DM in the live chat, he posted Ephesians 6:10 earlier. So I'll read that out. I'm familiar with the DM, so good on you, mate. I don't mind you dropping Bible verses in the chat. I quite enjoyed, actually. And Ephesians 6:10 says, "For our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but it's against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms." And many people do acknowledge that we are in a spiritual battle because the rulers of this world are into dark spirituality, they're into black magic, and they're into bad things. And the only way we can remove them is by shining light on their hidden secrets. And they like to keep things hidden. They like to do things in secret. That's because the things they're doing are very shameful. They're not something that would naturally come to us, but they think by doing those things, it empowers them. And they harness that power for nefarious reasons and nefarious causes. We're not about that. We're about doing things to change that system. And ultimately, we're all a family here. And we hope that each and every person can live their best life without government impeding them, infringing upon them, and making their lives difficult. Government is meant to serve men. Unfortunately, at the moment, they've got it set up where we're serving them. That's not a good thing.
No.
Too right.
No.
So what I did want to say is if people listening are really sort of keen, maybe that's the correct word for it, have a desire maybe to actually understand the whole cabal structure runs on passing down their criminal wealth to their bloodlines. Well, the 1215 Magna Carta has it enshrined that if you're found guilty of sedition, which is to deny the Constitution publicly, the minimum penalty that a juror must actually deploy is full asset stripping and life in prison. That's the minimum. So they cannot no longer pass it down to their criminal children because it's taken off them. If they're found guilty of treason, that's hanging and full asset stripping. Right there, gone. The other side of it is that usury, so lending money for interest, is outlawed. And so by retrospectively, all your debts are gone. They don't exist. They need to pay you back for stealing from you. So I don't know which people here are listening to this think that's a bad thing and want to call Magna Carta a relic. But I don't know, to me, that sounds pretty enticing. I reckon that's a pretty good balancing of the scales, just personally.
And I think what you're touching on there, Fitz, is when we're all born, there's a birth certificate. It's issued in our names. And our parents sign off on that before we had a chance ourselves because we were just born. And then that's put on the stock exchange and a line of credit is drawn. And that's what the Crown uses.
Yeah, all that's gone. Yep, absolutely. Correct. That goes away.
That'll be good. And therefore, people will earn their birthright. They will have their birthright released to them. We do have a birthright in this country. This nation was built by our ancestors. And they honestly believed they were bestowed with blessings from God when they arrived here. And they were in a new part of the world and they had a fresh start. Well, that's been corrupted, utterly corrupted. We saw a great pushback against that when protests happened in Canberra and protests happened in smaller communities. So everyone's doing it their own little way. Keep fighting the good fight. There's prosperity on the horizon and there's prosperity for everyone. So don't be dissuaded. Don't be beaten down. Remain resolute. Stand your ground. Hold the line. And we're going to get through this together. Because without each other, we've got no hope.
Yeah. Well spoken. Well spoken. Well said. What can the average Joe do to help the cause is one of the questions that's come through on the chat. I think there are a few things the average Joe can do. The first, I think, thing that the average Joe has to do is educate oneself. That is the strongest thing that you can do. You can get more knowledge. The stronger knowledge you have, the better. Then what can you do? Well, you can get out and you can try and talk to more people and teach them that knowledge. And if you can't do that, then you can donate to people like us who can or are willing to. And I know that sounds a bit self-serving at the moment, but I'm trying to think of other ways that you can help. But the fact of the matter is, if you can't stand up, if you can't speak, if you can't go and attract a crowd, or you don't want to because you're not a public speaker, or you're shy about standing up or being seen or whatever, for whatever reason, then if the only thing you can do is fling us a few bucks, then please do that, because that enables us to help fight in your name. We're not fighting in just our names here. The Voice of Freedom, my channel, is all about you and your voice. I just happen to be the one who has a microphone every day. And if things go to plan, I'll put that microphone in front of you on a daily basis in a different place. Well, maybe not every day, but every week. And give you the opportunity to have your say, to ask the questions you want asked. And I'll give you the access, if I can, to the people that you want to get access to. And Dave will do the same. We will give you access. We will let you speak to these people. But, it's not to offer abuse. It's not to give, great long speeches. It is to ask a question, get an answer, move on. Because we are working on a time frame here. This is something we have to build in a specific time frame, and unfortunately, we know it's a small or short time frame. But that's about all we know about it. We might have to build this in a day, a week, a month, a year. Essentially, we've got to build it now so that we have a future ad nauseum, going forward. So, whatever you can do to help. If you can go to a protest, if you can put up a banner, if you can wave a flag, if you can get some education, and more particularly share that education. So come to our Magna Carta lessons on Monday night with Fitz and I at Nun 2K and the Voice of Freedom. Come and educate yourself there. If you find something in these chats that we do on Dave's channel or on my channel, then bring someone who is a non-believer, somebody who doesn't agree with what we are saying and what you are saying. Let them watch one of our shows. Tell them if they've got questions, put them up in the chat. And if they're, you've got a microphone, you've got a camera, come on, ask the questions of us.
Yeah, come on.
We want to be tested. We're happy to ask questions and happy not to have the answers, but we will go and find the answers for you. If you don't have the ability, great. Well, okay. But eventually you're going to have to start doing some learning of your own. You can't just take what we tell you as gospel, because that's like watching the friggin' TV and the 6 o'clock news. That you're just getting mind programmed. We're not about programming you. We're about trying to educate you. And that education can only come from within you. We can point you in the direction. We can lay it down. I mean, there is hours. Fitz puts in, I couldn't begin to tell you how many hours of research he puts into every week's program. And the results you'll see are mind-blowing if you can stick with it. But that takes a little bit of mental toughness. It takes a little bit of physical stamina, because some of these lessons run an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours. So it's like going to a university lecture. And not that you're given homework, but you are certainly given a lot to think about. And you'll be tired. This isn't easy stuff to learn. But nothing that is beneficial is easy to learn. Never has been. So put some effort in. That's what you can do to help yourself. If you're not prepared to put the effort in and you want to ride on the back of others and follow the information, let others blaze the trail, I understand that. And, that's perfectly fine too. But maybe you can help us cut that trail a little easier by throwing us a few bucks. And you can see down the bottom of the screen at vofhq.com, we've got the landing page up. You can donate there, or you can do so in the chats or wherever. Find a way to do it. If that's the way that you feel comfortable in playing your role, it's an important role. It's no less important than the role I play, or Dave plays, or Freely plays, or Fitz plays, or even John plays. That's just the role you can play. So, and we thank you for it. We'd be indebted to you for it. It would make our lives much easier bringing the truth to you. That's my little rant for the night. I didn't expect to give that one up, so I do apologise.
I think what the average Joe, if I can just say, Carl, what the average Joe can do, all right, little things, people. When if you've got another awake mate and you go for a coffee tomorrow morning because it's Saturday and you're going to check the surf out or something, it's the conversations, folks. All right. And not conversations down rabbit holes about freaking crazy shit. It's little conversations, about how, the election could have got, I heard the election could have got stolen. That's fine. Little things in the coffee queue, little things, because people are starting to wake up, and it's only taken that extra little bit of, I had the boys down here the other day, mate. And their ears were pricked when I was talking about how they're a straw man and this, that, and the other, and yeah, they were blowing out some of the stuff. So, and I do it over here when I get to the cafe. If I'm with Mel, and I can talk loud enough, we'll have a conversation in the line where everyone around us can hear us. All right, you're 10 yards around, you'll hear my voice. I got a booming voice, mate, even when I talk soft. So little conversations out in the place now is what's, starting to really prick people's, and I think that'll get people to go home and then talk to the neighbour, you know what I mean? Oh, I heard this down the shop, because that's how we still generally do it. I know COVID's brought us away, but at the moment we've got them releasing everything for us, and we're back out in community and we're with people. So it's time because soon enough they're going to have us all shut in our houses again, as we think anyway. All right, so Now's the time, folks, to get out there, get the conversations going, try and do your best, be aware of your surroundings and use them.
Can I just jump in, guys? I just wanted to answer a comment that says, so this won't work then if you require 5 million to learn this. Well, Jack, how did you learn anything? Right? So if you understand how you come to believe what you believe, right, and it actually goes against your divine nature, if that's possible, why isn't it possible to learn the truth? That's a matter of will, my friend. And if you're saying it's not possible now, then whose side are you on? Like, what are you here to do? What service have you come to provide? If that's your attitude right now, you're looking at what's not possible. Ask yourself
So
that
bringing
question.
the negative.
Yeah. Well, he said, "Oh, you need 5 million? Well, that's not possible. How are you going to get them all?" It's piece by piece, mate. It's the trust that you have with your neighbor. You start there.
Yeah, and it's 100% possible. It's 100% possible. Look at how many people put up bullshit 15-second videos every day and get 1 million views in 5 hours. So if you can strike the right message and get a short or a video viral, it's very easy to go from, well, I don't know, 8,000 viewers to 180,000 viewers overnight. So you can build up 5 million people, absolutely, if you've got the right message and you're teaching it in a way that they're interested to learn it. That's the thing. I was never good at school unless I was interested in the subject I was going to. So I was always good at English because that involved reading, writing, and speaking. Maths, not so good. Ag studies, not so good. Really not so good. And certainly home economics.
So what the dark priest class understand is that the word government, right? That finishes with the word ment, and that's the English version of the word mens. Now that's the Latin word is gubernare for government, and there's mens in there. So the English translators of Latin understood that if you want to get something to activate in the physical realm, you first need to penetrate into the mental realm. Nothing gets made into reality until there's an acceptance in the mind. So if you accept that it's not possible, then that's what will happen. If you accept it's possible, your will make it happen. But first, you need to have the capacity to actually conceive it. If you can't conceive it, nothing will happen. So there's your limit right there. If you don't understand how you're controlled by the fact that your mind has already said what's not going to happen, then you don't understand the way you've come to actually accept any version of truth that you believe is truth, because it's all been programmed into you. That is not our divine nature. That has to be programmed into you to have that worldview where it's not possible, because a child doesn't know what's not possible. Otherwise, they'd never try stuff out. They hurt themselves all the time and they're fearless. That gets programmed into them. And all you're doing, my friend, is you're showing.
Well, it's about time we won this thing and, reprogrammed everyone the right way, isn't it? To know that we do have a creator. Yeah, that what we are in now is we're all battling a friggin' pretty hard spiritual war, mate. And we got a lot of weight on our shoulders, guys, all of us, because there's not many of us. Okay, there's a few out there, but as for the staunch ones that are on the right track and we're holding the line, sorry, there's not too many of us. So we got to gather together, guys, and the good Lord will then grow us. And I think that's what's happened. We've been taking the chaff from the wheat, and the chaff's gone one way and the wheat's hanging around, you know what I mean? And soon enough, we're going to get the harvest, guys. I know it. I can feel it.
Yeah, it's certainly happening. And we don't know what we don't know, but as long as we're cognizant of that fact and we're not know-it-alls, we're on the path to discovery, and we're all finding out things together. We're all discovering the truth together. These types of conversations, Carl's program in particular, aids in our discovery. That's a great thing. So continue to participate, continue to share, and we'll get there in the end. I think if we only live for our egos, we're doing a disservice to our humanity. Yeah. We should all strive to instill humility in one another so we can all keep each other in check, because no one's got all of the answers, but all of us have some of the answers, and combined, we're undefeatable.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
Carl, I just sent you on your messenger some of the t-shirt work that we've been working on. So when you're ready, just have a look at it. And if you like it, just pop it up on screen and just get some opinions.
Oh, okay. Well, you better explain to them what we're doing then, because I haven't mentioned that end of it.
No, just thought I'd just throw it in there, see if you like it. If you don't, just keep it to yourself. But if it's not finished.
Hey, Carl, can I butt in for a minute?
Yes, of course, Dave. It's your show.
Can I butt in for 2 minutes, guys? I'm gonna have to leave you with it, Carl. I got a couple of things I got to go and answer. Yeah, just some stuff coming in. We've been a couple of hours on here, but that's cool. It's been a great show, actually. So, Carl, bring yourself on camera for a minute, because I just want to thank you, my wife, and Kazza, because we just cracked something tonight, mate, that no one else has. I don't know if anyone else has done this, Carl. What we just done tonight, mate.
No,
Really?
I don't either. I'm not sure. I'm not prepared to say we are the first, but I've not heard of anybody else doing it. So, simulcasting on.
So hopefully, we're going to do a bit more of this, guys. These dual streaming things. Okay, maybe we'd be able to get like 10 in here. Who knows what we can do with some capability, So, if anyone realizes what we're trying to do out there, and you are a smart mother, all right, and you go, oh, he's doing it right, like there's an easy way. Hey, we want to know. Okay, because what we want to know is get these, we're all isolated in our little things. We want to spread all our viewers out, folks. We want everyone to know everyone, all right? That's how we're going to do the waking up process on our side of things, all right, is by getting, everybody. And this is the idea of the radio station, guys, okay, so we can get everyone on the same channel. You can find whoever you want to find, because I'll be there. But I got to run and do some stuff, Carl, so... Well done, our first little duo show on a dual stream, mate. So I'm stoked. Oh, that was great. So thanks you other guys for dropping in. I got to drop off and do a few things, and maybe we'll catch up tomorrow, Carl. We'll see what's happening.
I'm sure we'll talk. Have a good one, Dave.
It almost sounds like Dave's looking for another date next week.
Good night, Dave.
Yes, I think there's every chance we will do it again. It's
Friday Night Lights, Carl.
It's getting a bit,
mate.
Yeah, it's getting a bit that way, mate. It's getting a bit that way. And Friday night free for all. Although we might have to take registrations because people like Ken find it hard to click on the link provided.
Sorry, Carl. I've got to drop off. I've got 7%. I'm only learning it. I've jumped in to call you tonight, but I'm glad I've introduced myself and put the face to the name. If you see the logo of my name out there, because it's been removed, so we need to build up my bridges. But appreciate it.
All right, so give the people how do people find you, John?
Oh, I'm just on Gab, John Perrins. That's all I've got. Or Telegram, I share on that. Australians Regroup, which I. Facebook, it was like 8 years. Australians regroup with different things, and I never. It was Australians rejoice, but there was nothing to rejoice about 8 years ago. Now things have got worse.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Well, look, get back onto it, mate, and by all means, folks, go and hit him up on Facebook, like and subscribe, so to speak.
I'll find you.
Yeah. Excellent. And don't forget, mate, set yourself up on Project Matilda as well. ProjectMatilda.com. Get into that.
Weeks ago, I added you. I looked around that, and so I've put my face and my real name on that too.
Beautiful. Excellent. Thanks, John. Thanks for standing up, mate.
No, that's all right. No, I appreciate it, lads.
Good night, John.
Excellent. Free to join us anytime, mate. Look forward to it.
Cheers. Good night.
Just want to thank PC Gamer for your donation, man. Thank you. Eyes are spinning. Thank you. Anything I can do for you? You need an ad made? Anything? Just let me know. All's good. Some people have been asking how to contact me. Can we have a Magna Carta T-shirt? Yes, we can have a Magna Carta T-shirt. I will show you the design that Fitz is talking about. I don't know that I'm up with this design just yet, but we're in.
It's a work in progress, guys. It's not final. Just so you know.
This may not be a T-shirt. This could be a variety of things. Hang on a second. I've got to figure out how to share it. Give me a moment. There it is. And that's interesting. It's not sharing. Give me a moment. I'm clearly doing something incorrectly. Let me stop that screen share. Let me start another screen share, which will be that, which will be that, which will be that. All right. Can you see that now?
Yep.
No? Yes?
That's not the one I was talking. That's not a T-shirt.
No, it doesn't look anything like a T-shirt. It looks more like something we'd put on a cup.
Yeah, that's the very last one I sent you is the T-shirt.
Good. So I buggered that completely up then. Right. Love your work. Give me just a moment then. I'll hang on. Let me pull that down and let me go back to me messenger, which I shut down. Because it's a noisy thing. People are always sending me messages. Thank you for sending me messages, folks. If I don't get back to you, I tried to get back to everyone, but I got like a heap in there I've got to get to. All right, hang on. So I've got this, I've got that. No.
Just want to answer a question from Danny. What do I think about the sovereign thing to drop the plates on the 2nd of the 8th? I'm not aware of that, to be honest. You might have to give me more information of what's happening on the 2nd of the 8th, so then I can answer your question. First I've heard of it.
2nd of the 8th. I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be something to do with the originals in Central Australia. Just a thought, maybe not.
Yeah.
Fitz, I can only see
the very last message on your messenger hasn't come through.
No, hasn't come through. I do not have such a message to share.
It says Trinity of Law.
No, don't have that. Don't have it. Hasn't sent it. Did you send it to me?
You know why?
Because you sent it to the other me.
I sent it to the wrong me.
Yeah, there you go. There are too many me's. Get the me's right, mate.
Whoopsie.
For those of you who are unaware, Facebook have a penchant for silencing me. And so there are a number of Facebook me's.
All right, let's try it now.
All right. Okay. This
had a ping, so I'm guessing it's you.
That seems like it's going to open. Well, he says hopefully. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Coming. No. Open. Oh, I've got to download it first. And then it'll open. Right. Here we go. Hang on. All right. Now. Share. Stop screen. Share screen. Share window. Share that one. Here we go. There you go. You should, in hopefulness, be able to see that now. Can you?
Yeah, I can see it. You see it freely speaking? Yep, sweet.
Very good.
It's not complete. There's more that can come on it or come off it. That's just a skeleton.
So here we're trying to push the Magna Carta 1215 trial by jury theory. And do you want to explain, Fitz, on the back of the shirt there, and I can tell it's the back because I can see the neck on the front of it, the annulment by jury and the common law private prosecution ends of that pyramid?
Yeah, so this is what some people call the trinity of law. So all power structures run from trinities. Anyone who's done any real research into any way that any control structure works, like if you think about a truss, like the roof of a house, the reason why they make it into like that point is because that's one of the strongest structures. And the trinity of law, you see, is about those three structures coming together to bring justice into manifestation into the realm. So what trial by jury is there's two parts to trial by jury. There's the accused, so that could be any member of the community who's brought into, a trial where the jury are the people for a transgression. And now that could be because of a crime they've actually committed where there's a victim, or it could also be to breach some kind of legislation. Now, in the case where it's because it's a breach of legislation, then the jury is bound to judge from conscience. So they're asking themselves why this man or woman is being brought here. Is it fair? Like, so what the reasons are for what they're brought here, was there a crime committed? Was there any victim? And further to that, was there any malicious intent behind why they're here? And if the jury can't establish a yes to any of those questions, then they are immediately deemed not guilty. Now, if you think about, just for example, some of these COVID rules that were invented, right? Could you imagine if we even had such a system, that any single man or woman that was brought before the jury for any one of these not transgressions, these, what's the word I'm after here? These breaches of mandates, for example, right? Could you imagine any one of those jury members going, oh yeah, you really harmed someone, you know what I mean? If they were acting out of conscience, they'd be striking it off, right? And so then the jury is oath bound to actually strike off, which is what the next point is down on that left side, which says annulment by jury. Annulment by jury means that they are oath bound to strike off that piece of legislation that was deemed unjust as to why one of our community members was brought before us, we the people. And once that's the case, then the very next thing that happens is what's called common law private prosecution, because any member of parliament, they are oath bound to make sure that any legislation they pass is in the service of the people, not to harm the people. So now they don't have anything, no such thing. There's no such thing in common law as parliamentary immunity. That's an invention that Parliament created. So they now come and stand, any member of Parliament whose name was on that bill that became that piece of legislation, every single one of them can be privately prosecuted by any member of the Parliament, public, doesn't matter who it is, for free. And it happens pretty quickly. It's not going to drag out. So they stand before the people, right? Not before like judges, like paid judges. No, before the people to answer for crimes against the people. Now, the people have a very specific way that they need to judge that, because government has a special way separate to we the people by what standards they are held to. And that's all defined in those acts of parliament that deal with those actual specifics, which is the Treason Act, for example, or the Act of Supremacy, for example, right? And they must actually follow that structure, because government wrote it for itself. So we're fulfilling the contract the government actually wrote for the penalties if they breach their own contract. And they are, one of them is sedition, the other one is treason. And I went over that before. And it's for free, guys. Yep. Like there's no money exchanged. A proper court does not have any money exchanged. You know, and then off they go. Now you got to think, if you're a parliamentarian and you know that's the consequence waiting for you, what are the chances you reckon you're going to actually pass legislation that's going to harm another living being? All those psychopaths are not even going to be drawn to that job. Yep. Not even close.
Yep.
The only people that would be drawn to those jobs would be people who actually live in honor in their day-to-day life, that their mind would never even conceive doing anything harmful to another. You know, but unless that accountability structure is there, you're always going to attract the psychopaths. Always. That's a dead set. And if you don't believe me, take a look outside today, because that's been happening for centuries. And it's because we never had trial by jury. So this, if you want to start thinking about how you can educate people, man, start wearing shirts like this, because that's the kind of conversation you're going to be having with people in your day-to-day street encounters. Yep. And the more of us that start wearing it, the more questions we're going to get asked by those who see it. Because things don't go the first time you see it. People don't think much. But when they see it the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the 20th time, then they start asking questions. So we start saturating it, right? You'll see how much faster it goes. And this is day-to-day life interactions. So that's one option that we have, guys, once it's finalized.
Absolutely. Fitz, people are talking about the triangle. They're saying, oh, it reminds me of the all-seeing eye. The sphere is the strongest form in nature. Why is the triangle being used?
Because that's the three aspects of your consciousness. It's about lining them up. So you see, consciousness is expressed through three aspects: thoughts, actions, and emotions. And if you can line them up and unify them, then you are sovereign. And this is how we line up our three aspects of our consciousness. Our thoughts are lined up with our drive, which is our emotion to do something. And the action is to serve justice, to see it done. And this is the way by which it's done. It's just that simple.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh during your reply. I've just seen Sarah's latest post after the generosity of some people this evening. And thank you to everybody who is being so generous tonight. She's now suggested I'll be able to afford another Thai massage. God love you, Sarah. And I must say that Thai massage fixed me. It took a day before I was working again right, but absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. So folks, what do you think about the t-shirt design? Are you are you watching this tonight and you are a graphic designer? Do you think you could do us a better one? Happy to hear or look at your designs. After all, it will be a people's shirt. So design a shirt, folks. And thank you to some of the generosity that's been afforded to us here tonight. We will make those shirts. We will sell them. You can have them. And we will wear them. We will make them.
Sarah, just wanted to say
to everyone.
Just wanted to say to Sarah, she said this sounds new age. This system of trial by jury, this is adopted across the world through tribes. This is a very ancient system because it's connected to natural law. It's our innate capacity to understand how to actually manifest justice in the physical realm. So I'm not sure how you've made that connection that it sounds new age. I'd really like you to explain what you mean by that.
No rain and no happy ending at the Thai massage place I go to. Big sign at the front says professional massage only. And whenever I go there, I only want the professional massage because I'm crippled and need all the hope. DJ says logo. What's he say? Carl's logo, Voice of Freedom on the front, Holy Trinity on the back. There you go, Fitz. New design idea. I like that one. And I'm keen to see a shirt that has Magna Carta 1215 on it. It is the only peaceful solution. So maybe that's the little tagline under it. Magna Carta 1215, it's the only peaceful solution, because it is the only peaceful solution, folks.
Well, I'm sure that's what the opener to the show says, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, absolutely. And that's a quote written by somebody much more famous than you or I.
Yep, correct.
So yeah, I think, folks, if you want to do that, maybe we can run some sort of a competition. The winning T-shirt design, I don't know. We'll figure out a prize. It won't be a huge prize. Maybe it'll be a holiday with us if we ever get our little traveling menagerie on the road. Come and have a great holiday with us. And in fact, there has been so much interest in us getting something on the road. So we're looking at, a motorhome or something similar that we can get on the road with all of us, not all in the same motorhome. But we do need to cart a fair bit of equipment around with us, and to be able to broadcast live every night requires a fair bit of technical apparatus that we need to bring. So there's a bit to it, what we're trying to get together. But part of it is being able to bring these designs, bring these designs, and bring designs that you bring to us. We want to be able to make this the people's movement. And it's not about us coming up with designs and selling them to you. It's about us all coming up with something that we can all get behind. So please come and help us do that. We want you to be part of the journey. Every little bit helps. And freely speaking, I'm sure would agree, if I take the banner off his face, there you go, I'll move it so he comes up again. I'm sure he would agree. We've got some great ideas there. Freely, stickers required. I think that's a great idea. Bumper stickers for your car. So we should be looking in at that. And hopefully in the next few weeks, as I say, with some of those donations that have come in tonight, we'll be able to afford to produce some of this stuff. We have been looking at it for a while, haven't we, Fitz? And really, it's only just how did we fund it has been the issue, hasn't it?
Yeah, so that's obviously a big problem. And also organising the labour around it too, to, the quality control, how to distribute it, that's all takes time, energy. Also organisation, so there's a bit to put into that. So you've got to store them somewhere if you go in bulk orders. So yeah, all those little factors. So, this is an opportunity for anyone who's listening, right? If you have any connections that could help this along, we're more than happy to have you send us some contacts.
Absolutely. And if you can't send contacts, send $5. It'll help us afford 5 bumper stickers. That's really what it'll come down to. So this is how we're going to try and put all this together. I noticed freely you let a couple of things sneak up in the chat there. You're talking about weekly podcasts and private memberships and all sorts of interesting things that raised a few eyebrows as I saw them roll past, but I'm sure we'll wind up talking about that at some stage.
Yeah, Carl, forgive me, mate, but Yeah, we can get certainly a few things sorted for you. I know there's a lot of love out there for you in the community, Carl. I know a lot of people look to you as a guiding light, and people know you're doing this from the heart, mate. This isn't a cash exercise for you. This is about a community exercise. And the more people we can have participate, the better for you, for them, and for the nation on the whole. It's about spreading the message and getting it out there and making you more prominent. You know, I have a deep appreciation for you, mate, and really admire everything you're doing. And if I can help in any way, of course, you know I will.
Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that, and your support means a lot. And your contacts. For those that don't know, his voice is reasonably distinctive, at least in my ears. You might know him by other names, but this young bloke has been around my little world for the last year or so, and has had a bit of an influence on me. He's been pushing me quietly from behind, so I'd like to thank him very much for that. Aaron, I really like your idea about common law tattoos. Don't ask me why I like that idea. It just rings to me. I have a friend who I'm not sure, she watches the show. I'm not sure if she's in the chat tonight, Ebony. Now, Ebs, if you're watching, Ebony is a very good tattoo artist and a magnificent artist, full stop, can I just say. She would do up, I would think, she does beautiful feminine tattoos in the style of, I'm not going to embarrass myself by getting it wrong, but she does a whole heap of different styles, but she would maybe come up with a design. Now, if you're an artist and you've got a tattoo design, well, why not? Let's put it up. I'd be happy to. I've got two tattoos. One of which was professionally done, and one was done in school using a needle and some cotton and some Indian ink. So you can imagine how well that turned out. But look, I'd be keen on something like that. Let's get a design thing going, and maybe Ebbs can draw it. Maybe Ebbs can do it. We'll see what we can do. We'll go and do a show from her place. She lives in the jungles in northern New South Wales, so I'll set up in her camp and maybe get a new tattoo. That'd be pretty awesome. Tats are marked just like a QR code, somebody says. Well, they are, particularly if you get them in the shape of a QR code, but otherwise they don't read very well. That's been my experience at any rate. Boys, we've been going nearly 3 hours. I suppose we should let people go to bed. It has been a really interesting experiment tonight. Fitz, I hadn't planned on inviting you into it, but Ken Lloyd just goaded me, and I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. But anyway.
Well, he did say that I was a plant, right? So
yes, not true. So, folks, if you're interested in learning more about our common law side of the argument, which is Magna Carta 1215 and Article 61, we would love to have you come and join us Monday night, 7:30 for lesson number 10. But if you haven't looked at 1 through 9, don't come. Just go and watch lesson number 1, and then lesson number 2, lesson number 3, and then come and join us. We are very happy to sit down and answer questions at any time about it. And you can always email me at voiceoffreedomhq you can go to that. voiceoffreedomhq.com is also the new website. It'll be a mirror to VOFHQ.com. But you can email me at voiceoffreedom@gmail.com, voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com if you've got something to tell me. Fitz, we're going to have to get you to, I know you've got your microphone working, but you've got to stop fiddling with it, man.
Oh, sorry. I've just been playing with the cord. Yep.
Like a 3-year-old that just found his
Oh, I didn't even realize. Sorry. Thank you for giving me the heads up on that. I won't be doing that again.
Yeah, good man.
I didn't realize it was that sensitive.
Oh, yeah, it's very sensitive, but you sound magnificent. Can I just say that? You just
thank you.
Sound magnificent.
It's like a new toy for me, and I couldn't put it down.
Well, yeah, like I say, just like the 3-year-old who just is. Yeah, anyway, right. We'll get away from that.
Just want to say thank you, Sarah, for your compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Sarah.
The girl's chatting you up again, Fitz.
Yeah, I can live with that. So yeah, just with the Magna Carta, etc. Like, it just sounds like a funny word, but really, it's just our best interpretation of natural law. If you really want to just condense it down, it comes down to that, right? And so, if we are bound by nature, we don't get to choose how nature operates. All we can do is we can try and understand it to the best of our ability and then try and manifest it in reality. And Magna Carta is the best attempt that we've got up to now that actually tried to do that when it comes to justice. And there's nothing else out there that I'm aware of. If there was, I'd be letting you know. But that's the best there is right now. So, and the beautiful thing about Magna Carta 1215 is that once we get all the criminals to justice, we don't have to keep it. We can agree on something else. It's just about finishing off that which we started and the contract that they're held to and the consequences for them breaching the contract. It's like any other contract, right? Why would you go on a contract if you didn't actually mean to fulfill it? It makes no sense. And all we're doing is we're fulfilling the contract that our forebearers created for us, so we didn't need to go and suffer. It's because we didn't have the knowledge, right? They kept that knowledge from us. That's the only reason we suffered. So we just need to go back and pick up that sword and shield and use it. It's just that simple. And we're just fulfilling the contract and our capacity to actually manifest natural law, because natural law does it at its own pace. But we don't have the time to spend and waste on it because we're getting shoved down the coalface right now. So all we need to do is unite around it. It's the law. The way the law works is that which you can prove. And this can be proven. And it's undeniable. And they won't, if we come in numbers, they won't commit sedition. They won't do it. And we just need to unify around it. So this is just waiting for people to pick up and use. You know, so if you've got something waiting for you and you don't use it, like, you can't put on anyone else. You know, we can draw your attention to it, but we can't make you do it. That's a choice that you have. That's the way natural law works. Natural law is what's determined. You can't change that, but you do have the need for choice. That's where freedom comes into it, is your choice. It has to come from you, and the will needs to come from you, no one else. And it's up to you whether you employ that will in the service of that which you say you're seeking. Because you can talk about it all you like, but until you start putting it into action, it's not will anymore. It's docility. And so you can have all the knowledge you like, but until you act, you're still docile. And that's the sad fact. We need to accept it. If we don't accept truth, we can't actually do anything with it.
Yeah, and action without knowledge is just going to result in
poor action, really poor action,
really poor result. Yeah, really poor result. Mary M, can we do this every Friday night, like with the same guests? I think we can, Mary. I don't know if we want the same guests. I mean, Fitz is pretty boring at the end of the day.
Yeah, I am pretty dull.
Sometimes he speaks in a different language.
That's true.
I mean, it sounds like a different language. It may not be a different language, but it takes a while to interpret what it is he's actually said. So you've got to be a bit careful. You get him into a conversation that can turn out wild. And as for Freely, well, you know, if you're not careful, he'll sell you something, and then he'll buy it back off you for less money and sell it to somebody else. So I'm just saying, be careful. What you ask for, you just might get it. We will have a bit of fun. Have absolutely no doubt. Friday night free for all, we might call it. Hey, boys, and anybody can join us. We'll throw the link up in the chat, and we'll try and keep the idiots away. But anybody who wants to come in and have a reasonable conversation, I'd love to have you.
Do you remember that discussion we had about actually having troll box? Was that what we called it?
Yes.
We invite trolls.
Yes.
We invite trolls.
Well, that's something Freely might be able to help us with. I think he has trolls on speed dial. Is that right? You can access a few. You've only got to get on your Twitterverse, and you know they follow you around the world, don't they?
Yeah, we'll see how we go. We want good people. Hopefully, what I'd like to do is we can talk about some topics that perhaps we're not touching upon this evening. We can broaden the scope and maybe talk about humanity 2.0, maybe talk about transhumanism, maybe talk about digital upgrades for us all, maybe talk about the singularity, maybe talk about AI.
Can we talk about FLATEARTH?
We could, and we could also perhaps get some prominent people on to contribute to talk about that as well.
Yes, I think that would be very good. I'd be very keen to do that. I get a lot of requests to talk about FLATEARTH, and I would love to, and I want to do that, and I've been saving it for the launch of Project Matilda live streaming, because we're going to go into some areas that night, I can tell you, that will not keep us on YouTube for very long, or Facebook or anywhere else. So I've been trying to keep it for that, but very keen to get involved in that, folks. So if you'd like to learn more about that, the Earth that may have different shape, then I sit on the fence, but I'm going to present you some information that will have your head spinning. I shit you not. It'll have your head spinning. Anyway, boys, it is getting fairly late. We've now done 3 hours. I think it's been an absolute pleasure and a great experiment with the hookup we did with Dave and Kaz. First time that any of us have really recognised that that's happened in the world. But then again, we live in a fairly small world, and we don't know what everybody else is doing in it. So we're not prepared to maybe say we were the first, but maybe we were. It'd be great if we were. Anyway, we'll do it all again next Friday night. I really love the chat, and we might even try and do it earlier. Start at 7 o'clock or something if that's what people are up for. I know David would like to get going earlier. Thank you, Melissa. You've emailed me some links. I appreciate that. I will have a look at them in a little while. Trolls eat billy goats. Yeah, ain't that the truth? I think that's just about it for questions. Thank you for everybody. Thank you very much once again to PC Gamer Oz for his donation tonight. You've changed a life tonight. I can tell you, you've really helped us there. You've helped Fitz. You've helped me. You've helped Guru. And, you are able to get freely speaking performing like a seal. So I think you should be congratulated at every level.
Yeah, Carl, that's phenomenal stuff, what he did. And I let him know that if he had a business or anything that he'd like you to do voiceovers for, by all means, he would. If he wishes to stay anonymous, that's also fine as well. But most importantly, every single dollar, he can rest assured, every single dollar of that contribution will go back into Carl's broadcast. None will go anywhere but Carl's broadcast, and it'll allow Carl to get on out on the road and speak to more people, and hopefully visit a town near you soon. And
that's the thing. I saw Wendy Evans. I hope you're still in the chat, Wendy. I had your statements up a couple of times in the chat. I don't know where you are, Wendy. You say you're pretty lonely where you are, that you don't know of too many people that believe what you believe in your area. Please email me and let me know whereabouts you are. Email me at voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com, voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. And I will find people in your area to hook you up with. We are finding that when I come to a town to do these shows, the people who come are recognizing each other and they're going away as friends. So if you're in an area where I might be able to come and do a show, then you will walk away with a group of friends that night. Now, it might be 10, it might be 20, it might be 150, it might be 2,000. I don't know. We don't know how many people are going to turn up to these things. So if you want to let me know where you are, I'll see whether or not there's a show somewhere around you, or maybe you want to organize one in your area, wherever you are. Oh, Wendy, you're in Warrnambool. Oh, that's not going to be hard. I grew up in Mortlake. Got family in Koroit. At least I used to until I started talking like this. So, yeah, all right. There is a lot of talk about me coming to Warrnambool, Wendy. In fact, coming to Victoria in general, there's about 4. Got an email from Healesville. Got an email from somewhere down in Gippsland, Maui, I want to say. One in Wangaratta, one in Albury, Wodonga, a couple out of Melbourne. And I think I've got 4 or 5 requests out of Tasmania to take the show down there. Now, pardon me. The thing we all have to understand with the show that I take on the road at the moment, it's the Tuesday night show with Ricardo Bosi. I'm getting a lot of requests to do the show full stop. There's only one Tuesday night in the week, and Ricardo's not going to do 5 nights a week with me. So I need to know whether or not you folks are interested. Yeah, Clark's Pies in Mortlake Buzz. Absolutely. Best place. So I need to know whether or not you'd be interested in sitting in on the other shows that we do. The Magna Carta shows on a Monday night. The Patriot 101 shows on a Wednesday night when he hasn't got to be on an excavator digging a hole somewhere. Thursday nights will be something else, which we're working on at the moment. I'm hesitating to talk about, but Auntie Glenda hopefully will be involved with that. And for people who know who Auntie Glenda is, that should mean something significant to you. And then Friday nights, I'm thinking about this whole free-for-all thing. So we can do that from anywhere. Happy to do a Friday night free-for-all. If you've got a big barbecue or a big fire pit and a whole bunch of friends, Tony Harrison, I'm thinking of you. Mate of mine, Gold Coast snake catcher, got a marvelous fire pit. He had a beautiful breaking in of it last weekend. And after a couple of wild turkeys, he threw a log on the fire and then followed it into the fire. Managed to burn both his hands rather badly. So somebody else is holding his beer for him at the moment. But maybe, if you've got a fire pit and you'd like to get a few friends around, we can do the show, the Friday free-for-all from your place. Anywhere, anytime. I'm happy to travel. That's what this is all about, folks. We've got to get the message on the road. You can't come to us, so we will come to you. That's the promise. We will come to you. I'll stop at any bend in the road, and if somebody wants to hear the message, I'm happy to preach it. So just let me know. Email me at voiceoffreedomhq@gmail.com. And if you would like to make a donation, you can go to vofhq.com and hit the donate button. It's a secure donation website, and everything that we raise there is going to equipment, to a vehicle to try and make this happen. So anything you can spare, folks, would be greatly appreciated. And I can tell you, asking for it is about the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And anybody who donates, I'm so grateful for. Oz PC Gamer tonight, who's thrown in that money. Somebody's already starting to doubt whether or not we'll even get it. It's I've got another 10 hours to go before you get it. Look, we can only go on what people do in the chat. If the money doesn't come through, it doesn't come through. We gained nothing. He got a bit of praise for an hour or so for what he did, and if it didn't come through, it didn't come through. So what? At the end of the day, if it does come through, it's going to change this business for us. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So we'll see what happens.
We'll hold out faith for that, Carl. We don't
absolutely
begrudge anybody. If people step up to the plate, we take everyone on their word, so to speak. And I would advise against people trying to take away his generosity or to potentially ridicule or undermine it.
Yeah, I think
we'll
that's
look
wrong
to that with positivity. And also, perhaps if we can all support Carl enough, I can get him to do a full Monty routine on New Year's Eve. Perhaps, Carl, I know I've just dropped that on you, mate, but I'm guessing you have a few ladies out there that wouldn't mind you do the old full Monty for them with the soundtrack and everything.
You realise that I do these shows with a heads up shot for a reason, don't you? I mean,
what's got my interest is in how did that even become a thought for you?
I know. Where are you coming from, Ben? There you go. Now I've let your name out.
A few people might have run it by me, but there's all the more for you to hug, Carl. You're a good guy. You're a big guy. Let me give a shout out to Hans as well. Hans has been bombarding the chat with Hibbler Productions and Level. Yes, I'm quite aware of their work. They do sensational work. And perhaps if we can't get them on, we'll try to get Eric Dubay on, and maybe that'll satisfy your interest as well. So leave it with me, and we'll see what we can do, and let's keep our fingers crossed.
Excellent.
Sarah says, can you swim, Carl?
Yes, I'm wondering why you need to know if I can swim. Yes, I can swim, Sarah, but if you're asking me to swim to bloody Tasmania, not likely. Thanks, Tash, for your support, bitch. Thank you. Make me feel really good. That was lovely of you. Tash knows who she is. We love her.
The haters only come, Carl, because of your popularity. The more popular you get, the more haters will pop by, but that just proves you're making an impact. So bring on the haters because they're outweighed 90% by all the love, mate.
Dude, get me naked on a screen. There was going to be a bloody impact, all right? And I don't know that it's going to be a good one.
We'll get you a big hat so you can hide your modesty, and you'll be right, Carl.
Maybe you could recreate that time you tore your pants, Carl. Maybe you could recreate that.
Oh, Fitz, you bastard.
We're a family here, folks. There's no secrets. Everyone's quite open, and who doesn't love Carl at the end of the day? We love you, mate, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's way better than the full Monty. If you could recreate that moment.
I told you that story privately and in confidence.
And I haven't said any more. That's it.
No, I know, but now people are going to ask, and we've gone 3 hours and 10 minutes now, and it's gone too long. So I'm going to have to tell that story another night. But yes,
it's coming, guys. It's coming.
Yes, the day that I lost my pants in front of the army.
Well, that might be a part of the exclusive membership first podcast, Carl. If we'll get that sorted in a while, mate, and you'll be able to drop a few insider stories like that for yourself. But ultimately, you've knocked it out the park tonight. You should give yourself a pat in the back. We all certainly are, and thanks a lot for bringing us all to us.
I appreciate you, mate, and I appreciate all the help that you do behind the scenes for me too. Just so you know, folks, if I need an interview, if I got to find somebody and I can't find them, this is the bloke that I call, and he pulls miracles out. He's a plant. I just don't know who planted him, but we'll figure it out. He's a good
Well, our
plant.
mate in Indianapolis asked you last week if I was, what did he ask you? If I was the government disinfo agent. And
exactly.
Carl, you didn't blow my cover, mate. So
no, mate.
I like that.
The Americans are onto you, though, brother. I got to tell you, the Americans are onto you. Mick, do I live in a hole? No, I don't live in a hole. I live in a converted workman's hut. So it's 3 meters wide, about 9 meters long. It's got a toilet, a shower, enough room for a bed, and a television, and a chair, and a little kitchen. And I live on top of the hole. The hole's beside me. It floods occasionally. But yeah. Can't stay here for much longer, unfortunately, because this little thing has been sold and is going to be moved to its new owner's property. And unfortunately, they don't want me to move with it, which is a bit unfortunate, but shit happens. All right. So I'm going to say goodbye before Fitz comes out with another story that I told him last night and lines me up for that as well. And we will look forward to reconvening again, Fitz, on Monday night with you and Freely. Well, you're in the chats every night we're on, so lovely to have you there. And we'll have you back next Friday night for the Friday Free-for-All.
I think there's someone saying that they want you to pay you to keep your clothes on. Is that what it says?
Hang on. I missed that. I'm interested in that. Now we're on donation. I will take a bigger donation to keep my clothes on. I think that's the way. That's probably Tash offering up her offence there.
Okay.
No, her reply is she didn't mean to offend. She knows I've got the body for radio. It's lovely to have friends, isn't it, folks? I mean, it really is. You know? I mean, she's half a country away. She knows I can't get to her. But, lovely to have friends. Good on you. Thank you, Tash. Love you,
Well,
dear.
people are asking for a double act, you and Ricardo Bossi. So it looks like the soldiers' uniforms might have to come off, Carl. What do you know? What are you guys hiding under those belts?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Ricardo's hiding under his, but I'm sure it's going to be bigger than 5.62 millimeter. Or 5.52.
It's been a great time, Carl. On your Fitz, well done, mate. Keep up the great work, and definitely appreciate you as well, because you've been integral to Carl's channel and to giving people lessons and bringing everyone up to speed. So don't stop what you're doing. You're doing the God's work, mate.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Fitz. Love your work, brother. Thank you again. We'll talk to you Monday night, and stay safe over the weekend. I know you're working hard on a whole heap of things. So look forward to Monday night's show. It's going to be a ball terror if you are, if you're up to speed. Don't jump ahead. Start at lesson number 1, work your way up. Tomorrow night's episode will still be a ball terror when you get to it. Don't have to be there tomorrow night. And thank you very much. Freely speaking. I think I've said Ben now 3 times or so. I've given it out. Bad luck, Ben. Thank you. Been a pleasure.
Good stuff. I'll talk to you next time, Carl. And all good, mate. You've done well.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Really appreciate you coming in tonight. And I really appreciate you folks tonight. There is still nearly close to 300 of you watching. It's been up around 350, between 350 and 500 for most of the night. So hopefully you were entertained. You learned a little bit. You had a bit of fun. We're happy to take the piss out of many things and happy to have the piss taken out of us. That's part of what it is. We're a big family here and we'd love you to join it. So if you want to be part of this for next week, we would love to have you and your family join us. The Friday night free-for-all. God knows who's going to turn up. We'll see if we can arrange a couple of specials. Might even see if there's a famous person I can get and we'll get him for a bit of a chat, maybe a sing-along. We've had some success with Patriot 101 Glenn playing his guitar and doing a song, so that'd be great. Now, the Aussie Cossack, some just quick news for those who've tuned in late. Apparently, he has been moved out of segregation. He's now seen the light of day for the first time in a couple of months, and on Sunday, Mrs. Cossack expects to have her first physical visit with him. I don't mean that's a conjugal visit. I just mean she gets to see him face to face. That's been the plan, although that has been the plan now for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've cancelled at the last moment. She is hopeful that this weekend they won't, so we'll find that out on Sunday or Monday, I'm sure. They have stopped the postcards at the moment to the Aussie Cossack, and the reason for that, they claim, is there are too many to process. So we are working on a plan. In fact, Freely Speaking is helping me with that plan to get your postcards delivered to a different address where we will store them until he comes out. We will send a number of them every week that they should still be able to process. But when he comes out, we will deliver the bunch of them, and there will be a large bunch of them, thousands of them, we expect. So we'll have an address for that, hopefully, in the next few days. And you can send your postcards there. We will then forward them on to the prison, and we'll forward them on in numbers that don't tax those poor prison guards in the post office too much. Poor darlings they are. So that's what we'll do. If he can't get them, he'll get them eventually. We'll send them through in a dribble, and then when he gets out, we'll drown him in them, and that's the plan. So yeah, hang on to your postcards for the moment. We should have that new address maybe lined up over the weekend or early next week. Part of that is probably mean we're going to need a warehouse somewhere to store it, because from all accounts he's getting bags and bags of postcards. So we'd love to keep that up, folks, and we can only do that with your support. And thank you again to everybody who's donated tonight or who's considering donating. You can do that at the webpage. You can see on the crawl the bottom, vofhq.com. That's only a landing page at the moment. The rest of the page is being developed at the moment, and the web developer Jaden and I will have a talk over the weekend. I've left him alone for a week because I know he's a busy man, and we'll see what's changed. So looking forward to that coming up soon. Folks, I can't thank you enough for your support. It's I'm speechless every time we have one of these shows. Some of the comments that I receive, and certainly some of the emails that I receive from you, mean the world to me. I can't put it into words. So thank you very much for your support. I will continue to fight for you regardless. I'll do everything I can to fight for you, for me, for your kid, for my kid, and for their kids, because that's what this is all about. We all have to stand up. I'm doing it in my way. I hope to encourage you to do it in your way. And hopefully that's sooner rather than later. So until, well, I might have something else to say over the weekend yet, but until Monday night for sure at 7:30, I'll talk to you again then. Be safe on the roads. There are plenty of dickheads on the roads at the moment, folks. End of school holidays in many places. Don't be one of those dickheads. Talk to you soon.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's rock!